This season starting on June 9th.
For the second half of a twilight night doubleheader, the Big Train and Alexandria Aces do battle again. After a mercy rule in Game 1, the Big Train look to continue the good times and keep them rolling here in the second game. And to do that, they'll have Grayson Hitt to start tonight's game on the mound. He'll be opposed by Chris Knight as they're ready to go as a leadoff hitter. Chandler Riley will stand in for Alexandria. And pleasant good evening to everybody, wherever you may be. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here with you on Big Train TV. For the second game, this one will be 7 innings scheduled. Last game went 7 innings due to the mercy rule. The first pitch is in the dirt from Hitt, and we're underway.
I got this weird sense of deja vu, Tyler. Didn't we just do this a moment ago?
Yeah. Seems like it, as it started mere hours ago. Instead, the Big Train are here for their second game, as that's inside and 2-0. And Grayson Hitt, his last outing in Lorton, Virginia. 5 scoreless innings, 5 one-hit innings, and he pitched beautifully in that effort in a mercy rule. So we'll have to see what happens here in the second half. The 2-0 is in there for a strike as it bends in there.
3 strikeouts, 2 walks allowed. Some really good pitching from Grayson Hitt in that first start. 5 really solid innings, allowed his offense to do the work behind him.
Riley takes a big swing and a miss there, and it's 2-2.
And I'm sure he'll just be looking to do the same thing again here tonight.
Absolutely. Riley trying to maybe slow down Hitt here. All these pitchers on the Big Train staff work fast. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him, and there's one down so quickly. A big strikeout and a big fan to start off the evening for Grayson Hitt.
Yeah, and a good way to really bounce back from a quick 2-ball count to start. You know, not necessarily in control as much as he would have liked to start off. Riley, the batter there, but able to come back very nicely and get a very nice swing and strikeout to start things off here in the second game.
Anthony Migliaccio fouls off the first pitch from Hitt that he sees. Migliaccio in the last game was 1 for 3, grounded into a double play and struck out, and of course checked in with a single. So we'll have to see what he's up to here.
Yeah, of course, a shortened game, but really stunted offense just overall by Alexandria. No batters came to bat more than 3 times. The 2 guys at the bottom of the order, McRae and Fitzpatrick. McRae stays in the lineup for this one, moves over to center field, I believe. Only got 2 plate appearances.
Yeah, low pitch there from Hitt.
They'd like to have a little more effective roster turnover in this, like you said, scheduled 7-inning game, pardon.
Yeah, as he comes up empty there on the swing and a miss, and it's quickly 1-2. Hitt starting as he pretty much did in his last outing, getting a quick strikeout. Swing and a miss, strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts to open up the evening for Grayson Hitt, and he's quickly got 2 outs.
Yeah, and I think, as I said, when Migliaccio got struck out by Baker to start his day in this first game, he's not a guy that's really done that often. That was just his second strikeout in 3 games here in the CRCBL, coming out of high school. Joined the Aces a little bit later than some of the other guys. And has really suffered in both of his first at-bats against these 2 starting pitchers for the Big Train. First
pitch to Garrett Farquhar's low ball 1, so Grayson Hitt getting 2 strikeouts here, and new face at second base tonight is Christian Martin. He'll make his Big Train debut tonight.
Yeah, Martin, like Migliaccio, a recent grad from high school, 2021 class, a rising freshman at Virginia Tech next year. Can do it all, shortstop, second base, outfield, 5'10", 175, Amherst, Virginia native.
Yeah, Farquhar playing second base here tonight. Farquhar, if you remember, I say this almost every time, but he sent a ball over the Povich Field scoreboard off Jack Braley, a 3-run shot in the only other loss the Big Train have accrued this year as he reaches first base with a walk, and there's 2 outs for Adam Tellier. Tellier also did not have a good effort last night as we take a look here at the starting lineup. And it reads like this: Wrigley, Migliaccio, Farquhar, Tellier, Kelly, Catula, McRae, Helgeson, Stone, and, of course, Knight on the mound. Chris Knight is the starting pitcher. We'll take a look at the starting pitching matchup next inning, as this one's almost over. Fouled back into the screen, and it's 0-1. Here to Adam Tellier, who flew out to the outfield all 3 times in his matinee effort.
I think I had a big discussion with a couple of my more theater-going peeps, compatriots, about the strict definition of a matinee and whether a 4 p.m. start would count. I'll have to double check, but I believe it does.
So that one's fouled back. Feigns a throw over there to first base, but he's not going anywhere as the runner, Farquhar. And it's still 0-2 here to Adam Tellier. Looking to do something better than he did last night as he checks his swing. Did not go around, and it was low. He'll check on the first base umpire, and no swing, he says. Outfield reads like this for the big train. It's going to be across the board. Doyle, Johnson, and Thomas as the runner goes. Throw is a bit high, and he's going to make it in there safely. So
How about Christian Martin? Really the first time we've seen him in action defensively. Going up for that one. High throw down from Grant Knipp behind the dish. Manages to snag that one, potentially keep Farquhar from getting third as well in that stolen base.
yeah, nice keep there from Christian Martin. We'll see a new face in the booth tonight as a reliever is going to come up and join us later in the show. As there's a swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts in the first inning for Grayson Head, a scoreless one, and the Big Train come up as they get 3 quick outs from their starter. And we'll see you here on Big Train TV for the bottom half of the first inning. Yeah, let's go. Chris Knight will take over on the mound for his second start of the year. Pitched 3 innings a couple of weeks ago. Pitched generally solidly as we take a look at the Big Train starting lineup. Riley Johnson leads off again. Gauthier, Foster, Thomas, Knipp, Sean Uel, Velasquez, Doyle, and Christian Martin rounds it out. And Riley Johnson, the quick guy out of the leadoff spot, exactly who you want there as the infield will draw in a little bit. Third baseman Chandler Kelly is a step in on third base as there's a high ball one, and his at-bat is underway here. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on in the first inning for Alexandria.
Yeah, I've loved what I've seen from Riley Johnson in his limited service here with the Big Train. Got in last night for the first time since arriving here from East Carolina, as we talked about a little bit in the first game.
Yeah, and we don't know if Josh Grosh is here yet or available. We'll have to see. A few stragglers still arriving here for the Big Train. So it's 2-0 here.
Johnson, like we said, flashed the leather out in center field against Gaithersburg as a defensive substitution.
It's 3-0.
Really showed off what he can do as a kickstart to the batting order as well in that first game. 3 for 4. Got on base 4 times, including wearing one admirably back in the 6th inning.
So your prototypical speedy, short leadoff hitter, 5'8", and he'll play center field as well.
And again, a really good glove defensively on that left hand of his.
And it's outside ball 4, so he's aboard right away. And you got to be wary of the stolen base here if you're Chris Knight.
Loser.
That's why you don't leave. Leave first base, that is, when the pitch hasn't been thrown.
Yeah, Johnson learned that lesson the hard way. He got a great swipe of second base and then was a little confused about whether Gauthier behind him had fouled it off. Ended up getting tagged out halfway between first and second. So he was just trotting back thinking it had been a foul ball and therefore not a good stolen base.
Yep.
Little unfortunate situation for Johnson, but he definitely showed off that speed and what he can do going from first to second, as he might try to do here with a 1-0 count on Gauthier.
And a not top 10 moment for good old Riley Johnson at first base. He's not going, and 6 straight out of the strike zone here for Chris Knight, who's just not hitting the zone at all. We've seen some sloppy play generally. I don't normally sugarcoat things like this, but we've seen some generally sloppy play from the Aces in today's doubleheader.
Yeah, a little uncharacteristic almost.
In the first game, several throwing errors that could have been avoided, several, I guess, brain farts, if you want to call them, in the outfield. 2-0 here to Gauthier. And there's a strike, the first one of the day.
And I think that's what can be interesting about a doubleheader like this. When you're scheduled to play 9, you end up only having to play 7 because of the mercy rule. You get a little more of a layoff between first and second game than you might have gotten otherwise. Time to refocus, but it also can be time to reflect and maybe hang on to that kind of disappointment that can linger after a, 13-1 drubbing put on you in the first game.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see, what the bounce back is like, what the response is like from Chris Bursett's team.
Yeah, and you don't want to layer these starts in between tough games. You want to try to come out in the second game and do the opposite of what he did in the first game. So there goes Johnson, swinging a miss there from Gauthier. The throw down is a bit high, and a leaping effort at second base by Farquhar. Not able to come down with it and tag the runner Johnson, who's finally aboard with a stolen base. Has Born to Run plays for the 337th time this season. Big Train, no strangers to stealing.
Nope, they've been very active on the base paths. I think upwards of somewhere around 40 at this point. Stolen bases.
Gauthier, no home runs at Povich Field. Both of his homers have come on the road. Homered in Gaithersburg and Lorton, I believe, or did he homer in Silver Spring? I think he homered in Gaithersburg, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Gaithersburg and South County.
Yep. So he's been a road warrior. Hasn't had the same power numbers at home. We also have seen 1 home run from Alderman. That was on the road. Matt Thomas has also hit a ton of his home runs on the road as well.
4.
All 4, I think, coming on the road.
I think we might have hit 1 here. I'll have to go back and double check that. Big Train have played a lot of games on the road.
Yes. So that's broken back, grounded to short, and bobbled by the shortstop Tellier, and everybody's going to be safe. So more of that tough, rough play rears its ugly head. And 2 runners are on with nobody out.
Yeah, and speaking of South County, they got their second win of the season, I believe, over Silver Spring Tacoma in extras. 10-5 win in 10. Gaithersburg took it to D.C. as well earlier today. All 6 teams, all 3 matchups today, both doubleheaders. Or all doubleheaders.
That's outside to Foster, 1-0.
It will be very interesting to see what the standings look like when the dust settles.
Yeah, it's been a rollicking start to the season for the Big Train, and Foster here in the DH spot, quickly 0-1. First and third, though, an RBI chance right away. Outside, ball 1, and smartly running back to third is Kelly.
That's what the Big Train did really efficiently in that first game, is they took advantage of their, RBI opportunities early on.
Yeah, and Foster finally checked in with an RBI the other night. got his first of the season. But, I mean, when you're batting in the second spot, you're not afforded a lot of chances to drive in runners, regardless as he takes a big hack at that one, and it's 1-2. Error called there on the shortstop. That allowed the runner to get to third and the runner to reach first. Tough play on the charge there, but regardless.
On the broken bat charge, too. You never know what the spin's going to be like.
But it seemed like a fairly easy hop regardless, so got to wonder what happened out there for Adam Tellier. 1-2, there goes Gauthier, and no throw down, and don't want to throw down with a runner on third.
Yeah, we've definitely seen it more predominantly where catchers in this league will allow that runner a free pass to second, not wanting to tempt anything, especially with the speed of a guy like Johnson on third. But we've also seen it where, the throw gets down quickly enough and, either the second baseman or the shortstop, whoever's covering, is able to kind of come up with that ball also quick enough where they're, in position to at least hold that runner on third.
Absolutely.
But definitely always a scenario that's got to be in the back of your head as a catcher.
As Foster takes one outside, 3-2. And for Gauthier, getting on base has been he's been in a bit of a slump recently. There's no debating that.
Yeah, but he's still been able to get on base.
Right, and that's the biggest thing. When guys are going tough, they can't even seem to get on base. But Gauthier's going to come around soon because he's still got that great eye at the plate.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw him work the 3-2 count. Now Foster comes right back and does the same.
And as we get into the later days in June, maybe the month of July will be the beginning of the month of July will be better outlook. Of course, we have days off for 4th of July, as there's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for Foster, as the rain starts here a little bit.
Yeah, we're nice and dry up here.
Yeah, we're nice and dry up here, but that's quick and fast, the rain starting. Not probably going to last too long. It's still relatively sunny outside.
You can almost kind of see it in the camera. The clouds are moving quick from kind of left center field over our heads.
And it's not raining quite hard out there, but it did come on pretty fast as people start to head for the hills. But for now, Matt Thomas is up with 1 out and 2 runners on. That's up and in.
Picnic Pavilion might be the best spot to be right now.
Absolutely.
Not a great view of the game, but
yeah, it's not raining all that hard out there. It's still coming down as people start to flock out of the stands. Dylan Spilko gives us a smile and says, "I'm doing my job out here, ladies and gentlemen."
Trooper.
What an absolute trooper. If you look up the definition of the word trooper in the dictionary, you'll see him there. As that's bounced towards short. That'll get a run in at least. Fire to first and high and offline, and another run's going to come in to score. As buckets of rain start to come down, Dylan Spilko not moving.
You can. That's an interesting throwing error by the shortstop Tellier there. I wonder if he's going to come back to the dugout and say that was the
rain. Yeah,
looks like we might hold off for a little bit here.
So
get to the dugout until this passes.
Rain delay here. We'll have rain delay theater potentially. This will be a good time to talk about Billy Wagner, since it's a rain delay.
Oh, we'll get to talk about many things throughout this rain delay.
Depending on how long it is. We'll come in here in the booth in just a second. We might have Zach Locke come up here if he can. Don't have his phone, or I would text him to come up here. But, yeah, the rain is starting to subside a little bit, but did come down in droves for about 30 seconds or so. And they're going to wait it out, it looks like. And it probably won't last too long. It doesn't seem like a terribly long thunderstorm. We might get a rainbow.
Ooh, maybe. Wonder if that will come through on the camera enough.
But yes.
There's only one way to find out, right?
Yeah, we'll figure out what's going on here as the rain is happening, and this happens often in baseball.
I feel like I was saying something in the right as the rain kind of started.
So get the tarp out.
It was about Gauthier and getting on base. I mean, he's still a .333 on base percentage, .225 average for Austin. After he started pretty well, like you said, a couple home runs. He had a
tarps start to come out here on the field.
Yeah, at least I think they'll probably leave most of the infield, but the mound and the home plate circle will be protected. But Gauthier on the year, 9 hits, 9 RBIs. He's drawn, 7 or 8 walks now. A couple doubles as well in those 2 home runs. So he definitely has some pop in that bat.
Right.
But, he's been really effective, like you said, at knowing his spot. I mean, he showed the frustration, I think, a
Right.
little bit for the first time last night. He got back after one of those strikeouts in Gaithersburg and, was chucking some equipment around a little bit. But he's, like you said, been able to stay patient at the plate, not really trying to rush his at-bats. Doesn't necessarily always look like a guy who's struggling like he, might be numbers-wise. And you have to really admire that sort of mentality. You have
Absolutely.
to admire that workman's kind of approach to the game.
Very poorly scrolled out tarp out there on the pitcher's mound.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
That one video of the Nationals Park where the tarp got like stuck. Do you remember that?
So yeah, we'll get you in here inside the booth for rain delay theater, I guess, if you want to call it.
That's one word for
We'll
it.
do a little bit of I don't know. We'll discuss some things here. I don't know what the topics will be, but we have some time as the rain starts to lessen a little bit.
We got nothing but time, Tyler.
Probably going to be nothing more than 10 minutes. I don't think it's going to rain all that hard.
Hey guys.
We also have a friend in the booth with us. Is our graphic design friend, Reagan Towers, is in here. Ben's not even on camera yet. Well, sun starts to shine pretty brightly here, so it's going to be pretty interesting segment as we switch into inside the booth. Is there? You see Reagan right there.
Sorry, the Dandy Walker Lions broadcast booth.
Yeah. So all right. So I want to get your thoughts.
Oh, that was quick.
That was quick. All right. Well, we're back out of the rain delay, so we'll get to.
Well,
you
they got to
later.
take the tarps off first.
Yeah. So
Get your question in.
my question is what do you think about Billy Wagner in the Hall of Fame? I guess that's my question right there.
That's for you. That's not for me.
No, that's for Ben.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I mean, I don't know. Closers are always in a peculiar spot,
Right.
right, when it comes to the Hall of Fame, because if you don't have that sort of dominant, I don't want to say mantra, aura is kind of the right word, that guys like Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera had, then it's going to be tough sledding for you, because a lot of times if you're the closer, just because of the nature of that job, it's either, what's the phrase here?
It's hit or miss, I guess.
It's like hit or miss, but it's more than that.
Feast or famine.
Feast or famine. That's perfect. Yeah. And, Wagner was really a guy that liked to fly by the skin of his teeth. He was a guy who kind of
I feel like
was
earlier
had a
on in his
penchant
career.
had a penchant for working himself into trouble. And most of the times he would get out of that trouble, sure, but, for Mets fans, they're a stressful group.
Yeah, and in 2006 he was dominant as the closer for the Mets, but then 2007, 2008, really injuries started to rear their ugly head and stuff like that. But I think he doesn't have the postseason track record either. He has, I think, over 15 ERA in postseason history. So that's a conversation for another time, though, as we can dive into almost any topic we want. And Darius Foster was the last batter. Not sure what he did, as that was
He struck out.
Struck out swinging, and the rain delay came on. As Grant Knipp and Matt Thomas both batted, but Grant Knipp actually is batting right now, and Thomas did not reach, or did he reach?
Thomas is on first. He had
yes.
He had the chopper to Tellier at short.
So that's going to go as another error. An E6, no hits, 2 runs for the big train. So he reaches off first. Knipp fouls one back, and it's 0-1. Very quick rain delay, about 5 minutes maybe.
And now we have some sun in our eyes.
Yeah, stuff starts to drip as there's a strike right down the middle, and it's 0-2. Knipp's another guy that's got on, has maybe faded a little bit recently. Started off pretty hot, or maybe the injury bug was the problem for him, but now he's entrenched in that lineup as 0-2 here with 1 out. And there's strike 3 called. Got him looking. And Knipp is down quietly here. Didn't pick the bat up off his shoulders in those last 2 pitches. And he's caught looking. So Nolan Shanuel will bat with 2 outs. And 2 runs already in. No hits for the big train. So working with what they got here.
Yeah, only one of those runs earned by Chris Knight. Gauthier, of course, reached on the first error by the shortstop Tellier.
Shanuel loops one into foul territory and out of play into the screen. So 0-1 here.
And coincidentally would come home to score on the second error
Absolutely.
by the shortstop.
Yeah, so Tellier having an adventurous inning in the field, to say the least. Not the adventure he was hoping for. It's 0-1.
Reagan Towers heads off to
Reagan has departed.
bigger and better things.
1-1. Nip has to leap for that, or Nip Knight has to leap for that one on the way back. Yeah, we'll get in. This certainly won't be the last time we have rain delay theater. This rain happens almost like people fill up tanks of gas. As the sun starts to get more intense here. 1-1
What
to
is that
Sean
supposed
Newell.
to mean?
Happens often. People fill up their tanks of gas often.
What is the correlation between those two? Like, there's other things that people do often besides fill up their tanks of gas and get caught in rainstorms.
Doesn't really
It
matter.
doesn't. I'm just saying, like, I understand, like, that slight correlation of happens
inside.
often, but, like,
And Sean Newell shimmies out of the way of that one.
it's not like that flows or anything. I'll let it go. You tried your hardest.
I do.
Speaking of
Try to be more creative in here. I don't know.
trying his hardest, look at Joey over there in the third base grandstand wiping down those seats.
Sean Newell takes one outside, and it's full count. Count runs full here. Of course, tomorrow night, another game. We will be in action in good old Povich Fields as Silver Spring comes here for the first time since exhibition matchups.
Yeah, very excited for that one.
Yeah.
A little bit of a homestand here.
Yeah.
South
There goes
County.
the runner,
back-
and Sean Newell hits a high fly ball to right field, but that'll stay in the ballpark for the right fielder Helgeson. He'll set her under it and make the catch for the first out, or the third out, excuse me, but that'll retire the side. The Big Train get two across with no hits. They lead it 2-0 heading into the top of the second here on Big Train. Grayson hit deals with Chandler Kelly here for the first batter of the second inning. Big Train got 2 runs across with no hits. Still no hits in this game. Hit still has only allowed just 1 hit. It's 0-1 here. That one's low. Ball 1. First of the next, or there's 4 straight games at Povich Field. One's been completed, one is in action, and then of course they play Silver Spring tomorrow. And then on the 21st, they will play South County before having a much-needed day off for the first time in a week. And then it's 5 straight games, and 2 here and 3 on the road. So losing his bat and going into the screen is Chandler Kelly. Got to get some pine tar, maybe some spider tack there, Chandler. As he's 2-2 as the PA guy announces about watching out for batted balls and flying bats, as
Heads
you see
up.
there. Heads up. Hits 2-2. Outside ball 3. Spiking that one back is Grant Nip.
So, in the first inning, Grayson hit.
Grounded towards third. Easy play there for Velasquez. He'll take the long throw to first. It's high and coming down on the bag and safe is Chandler Kelly. Nice stop there from Sean Ewell, but Kelly is safe. That's got to be an error at least. I wouldn't say that's a tough error to take. If it is an error. But errors galore in these first couple of innings. We'll see how it's scored.
And that's the error.
Error there on the throwing error by Kyle Velasquez, not in his natural position of second base. E5.
He's played some shortstop as well.
Hits delivery, swing and a miss there from Mark Catula.
What I was saying was, before that pitch, I chose an inopportune moment to start that point. Grayson hit. Did he strike out the side in the first inning?
I would say no, because he struck out 3 batters, but all of his outs were strikeouts, but not 3 consecutive to start the inning. As there's a swing and a miss there coming up empty. Getting only air there.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I understand that kind of notion of there was a batter who reached kind of in between. But I'd like to have another way to describe that then. And I feel like striking out the side is still the most efficient.
There's a check swing there by Catula. I think, here's how I see it. It's just like batting through and batting around. If you bat through, it's the first 9 batters, and it's 10 batters has to be bat around. Now, if you strike out 3 in a row, it's striking out the side. If you strike out 3 in the inning, you strike out 3 in the inning. That's how I see it. But so there's a rough swing there from Catula, and he is down swinging for the 4th strikeout of the game for Grayson Hitt, who's bringing it today.
Yeah, and I was about to start saying, as Velasquez made that throw over to first, that would have been the first out for Hitt, not by strikeout. Instead, we waited a little longer.
Yeah. Blake McRae, the new batter, center fielder, playing it just like his namesake, Brian McRae would. B. McRae. Not Rodney McRae. If you know who Rodney McRae was, he's the guy that crashed through the outfield wall making an outfield catch. I don't know if you've ever seen that video.
I think I have.
You have to have seen it. You won't know the player, but you'll know that he crashed into the wall and crashed through it. I know in an MLB, Turner Ward did so as well. But his McRae is spelled McCray, like C-R-A-Y, instead of R-A-E, as Hitt checks on the runner again.
If you say so.
It's true.
I believe you.
Don't doubt the Gallo. As it's first offering here as he tries to square the bunt and the ball gets away. That's going to be a pass ball all the way. As maybe they got crossed up there. Runner down to second. Mark Catula struck out before this, but Chandler Kelly down to second on the pass ball. I think the craziest wild pitch or pass ball I've ever seen. Have you ever seen the play? You remember Matt Chico?
Yes.
Remember that one? He threw it directly into the stands. From
Wild pitch, by the way.
Wild pitch. I mean,
that's
yeah.
hard to do.
Yeah.
Definitely even harder now because there's excess of netting in Major League ballparks now, mostly going all the way down.
I think we should. I think it would behoove us to show that video here on the broadcast.
If we can find it,
I can download it.
Go for it. But like, did it just go that high?
Well, I guess I'll play it here for us right now and then download it to use later when there's another one, inevitably, as we see it here.
Oh, yeah. My Lord. I mean, that's like 50-cent first pitch bad.
Yeah. So we'll show that as that's fouled back into the screen, and I'll download that for us. And get it up as we quickly, and we'll save it for the next one. So there will be one in this game, no doubt. There's at least 4 or 5 of those pass balls or wild pitches every game.
Long line down at Brewster's Ice Cream behind the first base grandstand. And look who's down there. My. Is that Zach Locke?
That is Zach Locke. Well, he shares a birthday today with our very own Lexi Revkin. So, and I heard they wanted to get a picture together because they're birthday twins.
Maybe they'll be able to get a picture with some fantastic Brewster's Ice Cream.
Absolutely.
I found out between the games I went down there to Brewster's to cool off a little bit, and I found out that Big Train has our own ice cream flavor, which I did not know. Mint chocolate chip with a marshmallow swirl. That's the Big Train.
Fouled again, out of play here. Put up a good at-bat and a good fight is Blake McRae.
As we've said, one of 6 Big Train birthdays throughout this summer season. Sorry, 7. We have a new addition who makes it number 7.
Ah, yes.
Couple there. I mean, there's a week in July where there's 3 because
Foul
Everett,
back again.
2 bullpen pitchers, Everett Catlett and Kyle Robinson, who is the most recent addition to this Big Train roster, were each born on July the 17th.
How about that? Lots of birthdays here.
A year apart.
Interesting.
0-2 for Catlett, 0-3.
Big swing and a miss there, and hit again with a strikeout. His 5th thus far in 2 innings.
And has not retired a batter yet by any method other than a swinging strikeout.
Just shows the stuff he brings to this team. As I'm going to be a big part of this team and pitching staff going forward. 5 almost flawless innings last game. The only blemish was the home run.
And up to 8 strikeouts now in the season.
So that'll bring up Tyler Helgeson, the right fielder. Helgeson, we've seen him before.
Yep.
That ball gets away. So looks like it's a wild pitch, and I guess that's a good time to bring up the video we were talking about a couple minutes ago. Matt Chico back in 2007 will bring you back to them.
This is another guy the Marlins need to get going, and I think we've seen signs. Whoa! A wild pitch. That one goes into the seats.
So just incredible. Just incredible. Just incredible.
Certainly puts the wild in wild pitch.
So that's low, and it's 2-1. That gets the runner all the way to third. And when we see another run without hit. But yeah, Matt Chico back 2007, back in those early days of the Washington Nationals.
Ah, yes. The glory days
I mean,
of Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium.
all roads lead back to RFK, don't they?
They really do.
So that one is close, but ball 3.
I don't know where that one missed.
Yeah, that tough call there. We'll have plenty of those segments all season long where we show
Paul
a clip.
Porto behind the dish, rotating down from third base in the last game. Peltola down to first. Greg Kiewit
Hits
to
3-1.
third.
Hit high in the air in the infield, and Velasquez says he's got it, but Gauthier will fake like he has it, and Velasquez makes the catch.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a out, not by strikeout. Congratulations. Tyler Hagelson, you're the lucky winner.
Of a brand new BMW. We'll see you after the break here on Big Kyle Velasquez chops the first pitch to shortstop. Tellier makes this play and fires first in time. Oh, almost offline. This gets Velasquez for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Chris Knight on the mound, who allowed 2 runs on no hits in the first inning, and somehow is still down 2-0, despite the best efforts of his shortstop counterpart.
Yeah, and an excellent play from the first baseman there, Catula. Just making sure that one stayed in his mitt, and Tellier saved from his, what would have been his 3rd error of the game.
Yeah, very great play by Catula at first base. Now Trevor Doyle stands in as he takes a very loudly announced ball by the home plate umpire. Thanks for telling us, Paul.
Paul Porto. What a
Solid
great
name.
umpire name.
That is a solid name and easy to remember.
He can umpire the all-name team game.
Yes.
How about that?
The all-name team has several members so far. Ben starts to giggle like a schoolgirl. Here's the pitch from Doyle, and it's inside.
Normally your job, I know.
Yeah, that's normally my job.
How did you memorize the other team's names?
Chris Knight, the pitcher here, out of George Washington. There we go.
Local guy.
Yeah.
I think are they the Colonials too?
Yes, they are the Colonials. They have a very completely different mascot than my alma mater, Robert Morris.
Not yet. Better knock on wood. Don't want to jinx anything there.
Completely different, like, styled, I guess, is what I want to say.
I'm just saying.
Because
Not your alma mater yet.
George Washington looks like, as there's a strike there to Doyle, pours in there. The George Washington mascot looks like a president, and the Colonial looks like someone
Colonial?
from the Revolutionary War. Which,
Not sure how you make that distinction with a mascot, but okay.
one has red hair and one has white hair. Let's just go with that. As that's outside ball forward, Trevor Doyle reaches again without a hit.
Yeah. I mean, 4th base runner of this game, and still a no-hitter for Chris Knight. As
Gonna
we'll
get
see.
the obligatory jinx out of the way there, huh?
Yeah, Christian Martin now for the first time. Get to see what he can do at the bat. Already saw a pretty nice play by him, like we said, to save a potentially errant throw from Nip behind the dish from going further out into the outfield grass. Already shown off the hops. Now a chance to turn the order over. Good breaking ball there from Knight.
Yeah, this is Martin's first AB of the season. Getting here a little bit late. Comes on.
Got to wrap up high school first. One thing at a time.
0-1 here to Martin with the runner on first. I'm trying to remember as takes the ball outside. There was a pitcher for the Yankees way back, I think in the 90s, who threw a no-hitter but lost. I forget what his name was, but I can look it up. I think it was like 4-0 because there was a bunch of walks and errors. So.
That is something. That is certainly a way to lose.
Yeah. It's outside again. Back pick on the runner at first base, and Doyle's not going anywhere.
All 3 pitches now to Martin have been on the outside edge. Again, a local guy. Most of the managers and coaching staffs around the league from the area, so they know the kind of players that are coming up. Even if it's a guy like Christian Martin who probably doesn't have the lengthiest scouting report on him.
That's fouled way out.
Now coming back inside there on the 2-1.
Yeah, so the pitcher was Andy Hawkins in 1990, and he retired he dominated the White Sox into the 8th inning, retiring the first 2 batters before Sammy Sosa reached on a fielding error, and then loaded the bases by walking the next 2 batters, and then a fly ball was lost in the sun and tipped off the glove, and 3 runners came in to score.
So it was 3-0.
And then I think another one did. I'll have to see the game score for that one.
Interesting.
Yeah, Andy Hawkins is the pitcher that threw a no-hitter and lost. Now, Major League Baseball doesn't consider it a real no-hitter
Right.
because he only pitched 8 innings.
Ah.
Because
More than Bumgardner. Oh.
yeah, because the Yankees went down. As that ball gets away from the first baseman, Catula, and Doyle's going to chug and head to third. And he's going to get there without a throw as the throw comes into the infield finally. Doyle all the way to third on the errant pickoff throw. by the pitcher, Knight.
Sneaky. We talked about this, I think, in the first game as well. We're touching on a lot of the similar topics, I feel like. But sneaky big foul territory here at Povich Field. Doesn't necessarily look that way, but I think the warning track that starts, of course, here in foul territory and goes all the way around the field is a little bit wider, perhaps, than it looks to the naked eye.
Yes. So, yeah, final score was 4-0 in that game. And the White Sox did not have a single hit. Big Train still don't have a hit here. There's ball 4 to Martin. And Riley Johnson, who walked his first time up, will come. So we have something special for you guys in the booth here. Next half inning, we have a friend of ours in the booth with us that'll join me, I guess, for the half inning or however long he wants to. But Riley Johnson will stand in first. Johnson, of course, walked his first time up. One of the several base runners the Big Train have had without yet recording a hit. This has been a funky line score to this early part of the game. Here's the first pitch. Well, a little bit outside, ball 1. As we see Dylan Spilko down there working hard on social media.
Working hard or hardly working?
I think he's hardly working, but also stood out there like a champ in the rain.
Absolutely. Props to him.
When buckets of it were coming down. Here's the 1-0. Long hold. Long hold. Here's the pitch, finally. Squares to bunt, and that's going to be a strike as he offered at it. 1-1. Maybe trying to throw off Johnson here, I guess. We'll have to see. Ben would really like to eat his spaghetti.
Courtesy of Gregorio's Trattoria.
All right, Dracula.
My family is
Transylvanian? Nah, I don't think so.
Romanian.
1-1 is low in the dirt. Checking on the runner and not sure where to go with that one is the catcher, Stone.
Yeah,
Matt Stone it is.
Took a pump fake down the first baseline and momentarily forgot that there's a guy 90 feet away.
So, speaking of Matt Stoney, the competitive eater, I'd love to see what he thinks about Catalyst hot dogs.
See, as we get a very timely, hey, hot dog here from Chris down there in the booth.
2-1 here to Riley Johnson.
Think about Catalyst hot dogs.
And that one
They're a little bit
just high for a ball.
They're a little bit like more rotund than the Nathans.
Yeah, that's
used
true.
in the competitive eating. I think they're a little bit shorter.
Well, then we have to talk and see what Joey Chestnut thinks.
Are those the only two competitive eaters you can name?
Those are the only two that matter.
No, there was the other dude.
Yes, the other dude who's referred to very friendly as the other dude. There's another walk to Riley Johnson.
The bases are loaded.
The bases are loaded with no hits. And Austin Gauthier would love to get off the schneid here with a big swing of the bat.
Yeah, that would be one way to end whatever you could call this.
Slump buster.
Like you said, hasn't homered here, but does have two big flies this year.
And has had to bear the brunt of, unfortunately, getting his name messed up almost everywhere we go. Last night it was Gathire.
Him and Nolan Shanuel should have a race throughout the season to see whose name gets botched more by opposing PA announcers.
That ball is looped into right field down the line, and that goes into the bullpen of the Alexandria Aces.
See if it gets thrown back this time.
Yeah, Bethesda leading it 2-0. I don't think it was as flawless of a catch.
Some throwing going on down there.
Here's the 1-1 offering to Austin Gauthier. Hits a high foul ball out of play, way out of play. And it's 1-2. Gauthier this season, like we said, 225 coming into today. Did reach on an error his first time up and stole the base and came around to score. 1-2 now from Knight to Gauthier with just one out and the bases loaded. And a well-placed fly ball could get in a run here. The 1-2. Gauthier fouls it back again. Spina, he's a bit late on these foul balls, which I've seen, and sometimes that'll just happen when you're in a slump.
I think that one might have caught in a car, too.
Hope it's not mine.
Couple of head turns from down in the concourse in front of us.
Yeah, I always hope it's not my car. But I parked far enough away.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just got to park far enough.
So 1-2 here again. We'll do it one more time. Here's the delivery from Knight. Outside, ball 2. In the dirt, good block there by the catcher, Stone. As Ben starts to dig into his Gregorio's Trattoria.
And again, this is what I was saying about Gauthier during that slight rain delay. He's had such a patient approach at the plate. Certainly doesn't look like a guy
Yeah, very good vision and discipline.
wanting for a hit. I'm sure he does. But he's been able to keep that steady approach.
And that's right down the middle, strike 3 called. So Gauthier is down looking. And 2 outs, and those runners are still on the pond here. Ducks on the pond for the big train, and that'll bring up Darius Foster, who, surprisingly, struck out his first time up.
Yeah, designated hitter tonight. Not necessarily the go-to ribeye guy, but he can certainly place it very well.
Had his first ribeye steak of the season the other night. It's a well-fed lineup. Foster taken for the first pitch here from Knight, who's pitched, I mean, it's been a slog, but he hasn't given up any hits.
Credit where credit is due, and especially if he can work his way out of this one. Certainly will be due some credit.
He could beat out infield singles like the best of them. Wouldn't you love one of those patented ones right here? The 1-0. Back pick on the runner at first base, and not even covering first base was Catula, is playing behind the runner.
That can be what very hard for a catcher, because you're not this. You got the kind of side eye, right? Kind of wide lens out of the corner of your eye. I think there's an actual term for that, but I'm not an optometrist or whatever they're called.
I'm just utterly shocked that he's playing deep at first base. If it's a ground ball to him, Foster's going to beat it out. It's a slowly hit ground ball. He's just that fast. Choking up on the bat here, 1-1. I think he often does that regardless. He fouls it back, and it's 1-2.
Just trying to dig one out here.
Still 1-2 on Darius Foster. No hits on either side. 2 runs for the big train on strength of 3 errors, 2 of them by the shortstop, Tellier. The 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and leave the bases loaded here in the bottom half of the second inning. We head to the third here. Big Train leading it 2-0, and we'll have a special guest for you when we come back. But first, a word from our sponsors at the
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy-Walker syndrome. Dandy-Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Welcome back here on Big Train TV, and I'm joined by a very special guest today, one of the relievers out of that beehive out in the bullpen, is Zach Locke. Zach, thanks so much for joining me today here on Big Train TV.
No problem. This is a great place to be. I love being in the press box with you guys. I've been talking to you guys before and during games sometimes, and it's cool to be a part of the game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a different side of the game. So I just want to first ask you, as a strike down the middle from Grayson hit there, when you
Great pitch.
Yeah, great pitch there. Regardless, so when you know you're getting into a game, how do you get into the mindset to come in?
Well, I can't lie. There's a lot of shenanigans that go down in the bullpen, so you have to kind of break away from that and get a little bit of a mental focus on yourself and get prepared to go into the game there. For me personally, I just stick to throwing with one of the bullpen guys and forget about whatever they're talking about, get ready to go in and throw some strikes.
Yeah, so the ball taken there by Matt Stone, the catcher. So who do you think your favorite pitcher has been to watch this season thus far? Who do you think has been the guy that you're just in awe of when he takes the mound, I guess? Is there anybody like that, or do you think it's just yourself?
I mean, we got a good couple arms back there. Grayson, he's gone up to 96 before, so it's interesting to see him throw. In the bullpen, he throws pretty heating fastballs.
It's fouled off there by Stone.
I think my favorite person to watch live would actually have to be Jesse. I heard him. I know he said similar things about me, but I mean, his command of his breaking pitches and his fastball is just deceptive. I think he's a great guy to watch out there.
Absolutely. So this season, you've pitched multiple innings a couple times.
Yeah.
How do you get geared up to come in for multiple innings as opposed to just one? High fly to center field, going back to the center fielder Johnson at the wall, and that's off the top of the wall in play. Didn't run as the catcher Stone. He might be out at second, and he's caught up, and he's going to go back to first base. So we'll get back to your point in a second there, but not running out of the box was Matt Stone, who thought that was gone. That ball was given a ride.
That right there is why you can't do that home run jog out of the box.
Right.
You got to run until it goes clear over that fence, because then you end up in a situation like that.
Yeah, so he flipped the bat there. Like it was a home run. I'll ask that next, but yeah, back to your multiple inning thing. So how do you know when you're coming in for multiple innings? How do you get into that mindset?
Well, this season so far, I haven't actually been told I'm going to throw for multiple innings. I've been told I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go until they need me to. So I kind of have been keeping to the same mindset that I have for a single inning as opposed to a multiple innings high fly ball to left field.
Yeah, popped up in the left. Here's a play for Doyle. He'll make the play for the first out, and Stone will have to go back to first. So. And another outing I'm going to talk about is Silver Spring earlier on the season. Obviously, that was the one that got rain shortened, loaded the bases, then came in and got 2 big strikeouts. I mean, how did that feel on the mound just to get out of that jam?
You know, I love those situations under pressure because it gives me a chance to, even though I did get myself into that situation, it gives me a chance to get back out of it. It was a really great feeling to get off that field after putting him away for that strikeout. And then the rain coming in, basically saying, "All right, you're done for the day."
Yeah. So, we've been to a couple of road places now. Haven't been to Alexandria, but what's been your favorite road place? I mean, this one obviously COVID in the biz, but what do you think your favorite place to travel to has been so far?
Do you travel to or to pitch at?
I guess pitch at. You can pick either one, I guess, but
I guess I'll comment on both. To travel to would be DC. It's a great field.
Yeah.
I can't say the same about the environment there. It's kind of scary, but the field is a great place to be. Pitching would actually have to be at the Giants field. Their mound is high up, and I feel like I get really good leverage off the mound there. It makes me feel like I'm pitching at 10 feet tall instead of opposed to my meager 5'9".
There's a swing and a miss there from Anthony Migliaccio, the designated hitter. So you saw the bat flip from Matt Stone there. I mean, do you take that personally, or do you just go out there and attack the next batter when someone bat flips off of you?
As a pitcher, you have to keep they call it an even keel, where you have the same mentality throughout the entire time. Whether you don't get a call or someone hits a really far home run off of you, which has happened to me this season, I hope that other people see that I keep the same, emotions and like structure upon myself, no matter what happens. But for a bat flip like that, I feel like, especially since it didn't go out, I would kind of have to laugh at the guy a little bit. But I do. I mean, that was a great hit. I respect the hit, but the bat flip was a little unnecessary.
Yeah, that was the first hit of the game for either side, by the way. His hit pours a strike in there to Garrett Farquhar, who hit a bomb off of Jack Braley last week here over the scoreboard. So, I mean, what is it? There's a ground ball to short. To second for one, they'll get the easy force out. So we'll come back here, and you want to stay on for another inning?
Sure, why not?
I mean, may as well. We'll get back to some more questions after break with Zach Locke. We'll see you here on Big Train TV. Matt Thomas having one heck of a season here as we're joined once again by Zach Locke, reliever for the Big Train out here up in the Long Beach State Dirtbag.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in just a second. Up here in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth in the George Solomon press box. So, Zach, I got to know, since you're committed to Long Beach State, I mean, you didn't get to go there this year, but I guess, were there other schools that you looked at, and what stood out about the Dirtbags?
There were a couple of schools. I actually toured Fordham College in the Bronx in New York, and that was going to be one of my options. And then I came out to California, and I did a showcase. And I finished my showcase, and immediately following, I talked to the coach, and Long Beach had been my dream school since I was a kid, because I grew up in Long Beach, watching Dirtbags play for a long time. So that's been my target school for almost my whole life. So that made it a pretty easy decision for me, I have to say.
Yeah, and it's cool having a couple of other guys that you'll get to know here that'll play there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think's been one of your guys that you've connected with a lot here since you've gotten here?
In the first 2 weeks, Luke Baker. Luke Baker drives me all around since I don't have my car up here, and he does. He's a really nice guy from Ole Miss, or played at Ole Miss from Florida. Luke Baker, Jesse. I've been talking to Jesse a lot. He's a good guy.
Thomas laces that one to right field, but right at the right fielder, Helgeson, and he'll make the play for the first out.
Put a pretty good swing on that one.
Yeah, Thomas has had one heck of a start to the year. Mm-hmm. Big Train returnee. What was the process getting you here? Did Coach Sal recruit you, or was it somebody else?
I talked to Coach Sal while I was still in high school. Actually, I gave him a call. And then there was nothing set in stone because it had been still a long time until I would go actually play for the Big Train. And then Coach Valenzuela at Long Beach told me that I was getting sent out here, so that's basically how it happened.
Yeah, have you enjoyed it so far at least?
I have. I feel like I was a little, apprehensive at first.
Yeah.
I haven't been away from home for that long. But yeah, I'm loving it out here. Everyone's super nice. It's just a great community around Big Train baseball.
Yeah, they certainly do take it over. So speaking of Coach Sal, what's it like, I guess, playing under him or learning from him? I mean, Hall of Famer in the CRCBL. And what's it like just learning from him, I guess?
He's one of my favorite coaches I've ever played for. He's really nice to the. I mean, some pitchers, pitchers aren't treated the same as infield players under the coach's eyes. But he treats pitchers really well. I feel like he cares about his guys a lot. He also cares about winning, which is a great. Obviously, you need to have that as a coach. So, overall, I can just say it's been a great experience, and I feel like he's a great coach.
Yeah, so there's a strike 3 called there on Grant Nip. That was close to being in the dirt.
Yeah.
But so Jesse Barron said there's nothing better than getting a ring up out there on the mound. Would you share that testament as well?
I definitely can concur with what Jesse said there. Getting a strikeout, there's almost nothing comparable as a pitcher.
Looking or swinging?
I like swinging. I like knowing they. Yeah, there is. I like knowing that he tried to hit it but couldn't. Yeah. I mean, definitely fine with either, but swinging would be preferred.
Yeah, so gets away there from the catcher Stone as Nolan Sean Ewell stands into the plate. So it's been a pretty great start to the season, and you've been a part of a couple of games. Has it just been? How cool has it been just to be a part of? Winning to start off this season, I guess.
It's been pretty awesome. I've never been a part of a team that wins so much, that wins by so much. We've got a lot of talent on the starting squad for this team. And all the guys are great guys. So this team, I feel like I've just had nothing but good experience so far. Getting to pitch for these guys, and hold the other teams to what they need to be held to get those wins.
That's right. There's 2-0 there to Nolan Sean Ewell. So we've seen some guys be BP legends. Kemp is one of them. We're just seeing him take. But you Shag and BP. Who's the craziest guy to watch out there when they take it?
I think you said it. Kemp is obviously Kemp wasn't here when I first got here, so I didn't know. I actually did not know he was coming. But when he arrived, seeing him take his first BP session, if you will, was incredible. I feel like he barely puts a swing on it. That ball goes very, very far.
Right.
And we saw that at that game against the Braves.
Yeah.
I was right there when he hit that ball. It was hit. It was incredibly hit.
Yeah, I don't think they found that ball yet. That one was crushed. So as the season goes forward, you talked a little bit to it about us, I guess, before we started the season. But what are you looking to, I guess, adjust to or work on as the season goes along?
Here I'm just, honing in. In the beginning of the season, I was definitely trying to hone in my fastball after not seeing very many, live innings against live batters on a real field, not having a spring for myself. But I think I'm just going to be working on getting my breaking balls to work complementary to my fastball and just getting outs as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And
is that breaking ball your favorite pitch? We've remarked upon it up here a couple of times, but we love to see it in action.
I think my favorite pitch has to be the fastball. Obviously, my breaking balls I feel like is a good complement to my fastball. There's obviously work to be done, but I think throw down.
Yeah, throw down, and he is.
That was actually a very good
second.
throw.
Great throw by Stone. So that'll do it here for our time with Zach Locke here on Big Train TV. Zach, thanks so much for sitting down with me today. Yeah, of course, we'd love to have you guys up here. Big Train still up 2-0 without a hit. We'll see you here on Big Train TV. Once again, thank you. back here on Big Train TV as Adam Tellier, the shortstop, leads off, and he takes an 0-1 as the rain starts to pick up a little bit and then immediately quiet back down here on Big Train TV. Once again, we just really appreciate Zach Locke for coming up here. Great insight. We love those relievers, and we'd love to maybe get a position player up here sometimes. There's a swing and a miss on Grayson Hitt.
Yeah, I'm sure as well that all the viewers out there love getting another voice besides the two of us.
Yeah,
so we
can
get you guys love us. You know,
we know
we have certainly felt the love through
of course
2 weeks-ish now, but you know, no harm in changing things up a little bit every now and then.
Yeah, I'd love to get a view from the actual players as there's a quick ball there, and it's 2-2 from Grayson Hitt, who's adjusted pretty nicely. He gave up a pimp shot to Matt Stone.
Yeah, I didn't get to comment in real time there, and Matt Stone is probably happy I was not on the mic because I've never seen what probably was a double but ended up as a single just pimped that to that extreme.
You know, I've seen guys like Javier Baez do that, or Wilson Contreras, maybe even Fernando Tatis, but it's those bat flips that are disrespectful in my opinion when it's not even out. You got to wait for it to go out if you're going to do that. As there's ball 4 here to Tellier. And that ball hit the top of the wall, and he could have been thrown out at second. That's really the only – and if you're thrown out at second, you just run the risk of looking completely stupid out there at the disc, to put it not lightly at all. Not smart there.
I'm sure his coach had a word for him there. I mean, this is probably, one of the matchups that, when it comes to maybe a little tension, right, a little grudge, so to say, between the two teams. This is certainly one of those. Everybody wants to get the big train. They've won countless championships. They won the last one in 2019. Everybody wants to get them. They're the team with the bullseye that everybody's aiming for.
And that comes with success. I mean, the Dodgers are that way.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, a solo shot when you're down 2-1, is that really the moment?
Yeah, it was just a very not smart time to do so. And, it's just not a very good call there by Matt Stone.
And he's just, like you said, he's just lucky it didn't end up costing him more.
That ball is laced into right field, but right into the glove of Matt Thomason. Right. Big Train get their first or second out here quickly. Is that Catula? No, I believe that's just one out.
Kelly, one out. I think it's just wrong on the scoreboard.
Yeah, so whoever's running the scoreboard today is having a bit of a time out there. 2-0 Big Train lead, still no hits. It's a back pick on the runner at first base, and good throw there. But Sean Newell did not make the tag in time. But yeah, we always love to have new guys up here. We appreciated it when Jesse came up here as well. Did a phenomenal job in play-by-play, and Zach did a phenomenal job telling us about what goes on down there as the runner goes. Ball taken there, and stolen base there for Adam Tellier. If you can't do it with the glove, may as well do it on the base paths.
Yeah, he was, we mentioned the shenanigans and that ability to kind of lock in. He was on the mound when, I think you said it last night, one of our favorite moments of the season so far, with Mr. Barron and an alleged laser pointer.
Foibles with the laser pointer. Oh, there was a laser pointer.
I was going to, allegedly, I was going to ask Zach about that and that kind of thing, but obviously he was out on the mound doing his business at the time.
It was just hilarious to see that unfold and then him get hit in the crotch and sort of just collapse in the bullpen and then go out there and have to close out the game. Maybe he showed some ill effects on the mound. It's not a characteristic outing there from Jesse Barron. It's 3-1. And Jesse Barron is the biggest character of them all, I think, out there in the pen. We know, talk to Zach Locke, phenomenal guy, great guy to talk to. Talk to him almost every day when we're here. Been one of the better friends we've made on the team, and I'd love to maybe get a feature on him done for the YouTube channel. So it's inside. And ball 4, so Grayson Hitt losing the strike zone a little bit here for the first time this season. How about that?
Yeah, we'll see how he bounces back. Had some really good control in the first couple innings. Like we said, 5 strikeouts in the first 2.
So now that'll bring up Blake McCray.
But he did have a couple walks in that first start down in South County.
Down is the right word for that. That was not fun. And I will not sugarcoat it at all. There's a strike there from hit, so finding the zone there, and it's on 1. Yeah, Big Train still without a hit. I'm going to keep saying that until it happens. Here's the 0-1 from hit. Dancing off second base is the runner Tellier. It's inside, ball 1.
Two walks in that one down in South County. 3 already in this one.
Here's the 1-1 offering from Grayson Hitt. Check swing did not go as the ball was in the dirt, and it's 2-1. And good job by Nip to go out there to talk to his pitcher. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this game, I guess, or games in general. The Big Train season. Leave a comment down below if you're watching this, if you have anything to ask us or say, or something that you want us to talk about. We've got a lot of time up here to dissect things as well. So if you have any questions or any requests for interviews, I guess, because we sort of have that leeway here. We'll have to see. 2-1 here from Grayson Hitt with 2 runners on and just 1 out. It's outside, 3-1, and Hitt pounding his glove there.
Just trying to bounce back, trying to get back to where he was command-wise to start this game off. Try to see if he can find it.
Yeah, showed no ill effects after that pimped single. So there's a 3-1, fouled down the right field line.
And just like that, back in the count with a 3-2.
Yeah, good pitch there from Hitt.
One pitch like that, can really make such a difference in, obviously 1 out here, 2 on, both via walk. You get this guy, it's just a whole different feeling about where you are.
Absolutely. Runners go, and that's hit into the right field side and
heads up,
skied out of play.
Straight towards the batting cages down there and right. Long walk back for Tellier and Catula.
1 run in 5 innings. That only run was the only hit as well.
Big fly from Nathan Schmela.
And they call that a strike. And down goes the hitter as he did not agree with that call.
He swung.
Blake McCray went around for strike 3, and Tyler Helgeson now, as the complexion of the inning changes a little bit there.
2 on, 2 out is certainly different than 3 on, 1 out. Now a really good opportunity for Grayson Hitt and this Big Train defense to.
So here's Helgeson standing in. Went around on a half swing, and it's 0-1, but that was in the strike zone regardless. Oh, 0-1 offering from Hitt. Ben's in there for a strike. Great pitch from Grayson Hitt. And it's 0-2. Now the 0-2 as the claps start to begin here at Povich Field. Ben's in there for strike 3. Got out of it. And Grayson Hitt is through 3 scoreless with a flourish. 4 scoreless, excuse me, with a flourish. Gets back-to-back looking strikeouts to the end of the inning. And the Big Train head to the second half of the 4th up 2-0.
Kyle Velazquez, the third baseman tonight, will start things off after standing in the batting box when Nolan Shanuel was caught stealing 2-4 to end the bottom of the third. Velazquez, Doyle, and Martin, the bottom of the order here in the bottom of the fourth, looking to turn things over, get things back to the top, and add to this 2-0 lead here. And Velazquez takes strike one. Velazquez grounded out to shortstop his first time up at the bat. Had a couple RBI base knocks in the first game of this one. And he grounds this one through the left side of the infield past a diving Tellier at shortstop and takes a hefty round around first, but will retreat with a single as the throw comes in, cut off by Farquhar. Catula had to go up to snag that one. And it's a leadoff base knock. There goes the no-hitter for Chris Knight.
Of course, the
and Beaver.
second
and
I
the
step
Alexandria Aces. And for the remainder of the action here in the bottom of the fourth inning, it's Tyler Gallo.
Yeah, of course, the time I step out for a second, they get their first hit of the game.
When nature calls, you better pick up.
So Velazquez reaches with a single, and that'll bring up Trevor Doyle, who has reached with a walk and then made it to third on an error. No run came across the score there, though. Here's the pitch there, as that's right down the middle for a strike. And it's 0-2. Bryce Beaver, the pitcher. Excuse me, not Bryce Beaver.
Brandon Beaver.
Brandon Beaver. Beaver. I was thinking of Bryce Beamer on Bamer.
Well, that's Bamer. So
the runner
either
goes,
way,
and it's
you're
grounded,
wrong.
hit and run executed perfectly, as that's going to get the runner over to third. Great hit and run play there was on for Trevor Doyle, and he reaches with a single, and Velazquez gets all the way to third.
And after no hits through 3 innings, how about back-to-backs?
Well, when it
Base
rains, it
knocks.
pours.
Not really. I mean, we saw some light sprinkling here at Povich Field throughout the night. Not necessarily pouring. There was that one time where it was most definitely pouring.
Well, you know what they say, when it rains, it pours, every rose has its thorn. I forget who wrote that.
But again, perfectly executed on the hit and run by Doyle and Velazquez.
That's a foul ball. No play there.
Yeah, that's an interesting conundrum for Catula. You know, you're taught as a first baseman, as a third baseman, as a just, infielder as a whole. Wait till that thing rolls. See where it's going to go.
Yes, written by Poison. Every rose has its thorn. When it rains, it pours.
I feel like it's a line from somewhere else, too, but I don't remember. But you got to kind of wait until the last second to see whether that's going to be fair or foul. He played that kind of early. And it seemed like potentially thinking it was fair.
Christian Martin fouls it off. Martin 0-2 now. He walked his first time up. So I'm taking batting practice, taking some good hefty cuts. The new guy here as he tries to get acclimated to the Bethesda big train. Here's the 0-2. Inside, and good block there by the catcher Stone. Stone, I'm happy with how he's played on defense, but on offense, leaves a lot to be desired with that bat flip. So
More of a toss. Had the one hand middle
did he
of the
turn
bat.
towards the dugout?
Turned toward the dugout, put his hand on the knob. Just kind of.
It's just funny. Like Zach said, I mean, you just got to laugh
Yeah,
at the guy.
certainly. Maybe not if you're his teammate.
So there goes the runner, and it bounced up to the first base side, and it's booted by the first baseman, Catula, and everybody's going to be safe, and the run comes in to score. Wow. I don't really know what to say about that one. Comedy of errors on that play, as that reaches on an error as well.
Yeah, again, that was the same thing we just talked about in terms of maybe the ball rolling foul. Instead, it hits Catula's glove in fair play, then bounces foul. He's got to kind of scramble to get that on the toss back to Beaver coming over to cover. It ends up putting it a little too low, and it bounces away. And like you said, Safel around first and second, no outs here, as it's an error.
Fourth of the evening for the Aces. Now, does that go as an RBI? I don't think so, since it was driven in on an error. So, Riley Johnson, the order turns over. He's walked twice. It's like they call a balk. I'm not sure what they called, or time.
I think just time.
Yeah. First offering here. As a great bunt there by Johnson. He put it perfectly down the line, but not where he wanted it. Just a little bit foul. Riley Johnson, 0-1 here. Been nothing but good since he's gotten into the lineup.
No relation to Riley Albert.
Horrible plug there is 0-1.
Back check on the runner at second.
I don't think they'd be related if they have the same first name, Ben, and they're not even spelled the same way.
You never know.
Here's the 0-1. Low, and no one's moving.
Yeah, and that came up a little awkward for Stone, transferring from glove to hand. And I noticed that a little bit on the hit and run by Doyle with Velazquez coming around. The ball really slowed when it hit that outfield grass, and you could almost see some water being kicked up as the ball rolled towards Hegelson out there and right.
Yeah, Helgeson had to charge that ball quickly. There's a great bunt from Johnson. That's going to get everyone over and potentially be safe at first, and he is out. Oh, close play. He lunged for that one.
I mean, he motored down the line. Gets
Yeah,
a fist pump.
Perfect leadoff hitter. Maybe taking a bit of
Coach
a load
Bender.
off of Austin Gauthier, but the sacrifice works as planned. Gets both runners over, and nearly him to first base.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting... Because he's not bunting for a hit there, right?
No, he's not bunting for
It's
it.
an intended sacrifice, but his speed and how perfect that
Well,
bunt was down the third base line
That begs the
makes
question.
it seem like he's bunting for a hit.
Right, because he perfectly placed it, and he didn't set up. He didn't square to bunt. It was a drag bunt. So in that situation, you got to think maybe he was bunting for a hit, but maybe it was also put on by coach.
Oh,
So
it's
that Ben's
definitely
in
put
there
on
for a
by
strike.
coach.
So
Runners on first and second, no outs. You have the chance to put two in scoring position with one out. And take that every time.
it's been
It's probably the most common bunting scenario.
it's been a day bereft of power here at Povich Field. Still no homers in the doubleheader. Of course,
Some
if
finesse.
you're just joining us, the Big Train won the first game 13-1. 7 innings that one. Not scheduled 7 innings like this one is. Said it was only a mere mercy rule in that game. 3-0 the Big Train lead it in this one. Gone off to a bit different start as Gauthier drills that one into the gap. That's going to have to be played on a hop, and the center fielder, McRae, falls, and 2 runs are going to come in. I don't know what that was.
I mean, that might be this what we were just talking about with the water, where maybe the grass is a little bit slicker. He's trying to dive for it, laying out. Instead, feet come out underneath you, go down a little sooner than you would have liked to, and it's a beautiful 2 RBI single for Austin Gauthier.
Shades of Jorge Soler in the 2015 NLCS, as that one was not pretty. He just plopped. And maybe none worse for the wear, though. It's one of my favorite baseball images is that Jorge Soler moment.
2 RBI base knock for Gauthier, who needed it, deserved it, and he got it.
Absolutely. Remember, that was the same series that Kyle Schwarber had an insufferable series in left field.
Why do you bring that up, Tyler?
Because he's homered twice today.
Makes sense.
0-1 to Darius Foster, who struck out both times up. 2 RBI for good old Austin Gauthier at first base.
Yeah, I know. I just said that.
There it is, my favorite baseball image right there.
This one skirts past Stone. Down to second goes Gauthier, for those actually paying attention to the game.
Listen,
That was harsh. I'm sorry.
let's take it easy there, buckaroo. Foster has been also mired in a slump. It seems like most of the Big Train offense is still, like half of the Big Train offense is going good and half of it is mired in a slump right now.
I feel like that's just baseball.
That is true.
As a Mets fan, you should know that.
He's grounded up the middle. Could be easy enough for the second baseman. He's going to have to fire it quickly, and he does as he makes the play for the second out. Good play there by second baseman shortstop Tellier to shade over to that ball and throw him out.
And Gauthier over to third on the sacrifice.
Solid sacrifice there, 6-3 on the sack. Moves the runner over to third. Now to bring up Matt Thomas. So we've seen a lack of Jack Cohn in this doubleheader. Maybe just getting the night off because of his outing last night. And one that it was a head scratcher of an outing. Came in, struck out the first two batters, and then allowed 3 runs, and then was left out there for a second inning. You know, maybe it was just a lack of bullpen arms. Maybe it was a lack of faith in those other bullpen arms. You never know what it is, but tough to see good old Stone Cold go out there and have a rough one as Thomas takes the ball, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, I'm sure his collegiate teammate at the College of William and Mary, Matt Thomas, would love to get RBI number 16 on the season right here, 90 feet away, with Austin Gauthier down at third as he takes a nice breaking ball on the inside there.
Been a machine.
Anything interesting on the out-of-town scoreboard, Tyler?
I'll have to take a look at the CRCBL scoreboard.
1-0 Silver Spring Tacoma over South County.
Of course, Big Train won 13-1 earlier today.
1-0 DC over Gaithersburg as well.
And South County leads the T-Bolts 10-5.
No, that was the game earlier.
Oh, well, still a game, nonetheless.
Gaithersburg DC in the bottom of the third. Silver Spring Tacoma in the top of the fifth.
High ball
2-1.
4. The walk of life, there it is. How about that? They were listening. Solid. And that might be the end of the line for Beaver here on the mound. Yeah, it looks like we'll have a new guy trotting in from the bullpen. But first, a word from our sponsors as we take you to the Dandy Walker Alliance, and we'll get you that new pitcher when we come back.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Grant Knipp, the first batter, against the new pitcher, Chris Breezy.
Nope, just Chris Brown.
Yeah, Chris Brown is the new pitcher. So
Rising sophomore at the University of Sciences,
out in Philadelphia.
which I found out was a thing today.
Yeah, I told you that. I know things sometimes, Ben.
9 appearances, 7 starts for the Devils out there. 3-2 record, 28 and a third innings pitched, 37 hits, 39 runs.
Knipp fouls that one away off the
37 of
massive
them
stone.
25 strikeouts, 21 walks, 11.75 ERA.
So I believe it's an inning and 2/3 for Beaver, if I'm not mistaken, here in the fourth.
2 innings for Knight before him. Bullpen game here for Alexandria and Chris Bursett.
Not Chris Brown, who's on the mound.
Not that Chris Brown. Different Chris Brown.
Chris Brown sets and delivers. It's outside ball 2, or ball 1, excuse me. Charge.
Got a couple responses from the
1-1. Hit high and foul out of play. Foul ball, and it's 1-2. Heads up. Have to wonder where that one landed. So he looks to go crazy on the mound. Chris Brown, and retire Grant Knipp. Yeah, bereft of power here in this game. Closest was that long fly ball that ended up as a single as Knipp goes down swinging to retire the side. Big Train chase across 3 more and lead at 5-0 as we head to the top of the 5th here on Big Train TV.
"Look at me now," says Chris Brown as he strikes out Knipp to end that one.
New pitcher for the Big Train, and it's an unfamiliar face as Josh Gross makes his debut. Gross out of East Carolina University comes in relief of Grayson Hitt, who pitched very well. Once again, 1 hit allowed for Grayson Hitt. He didn't allow any earned runs. He struck out 8 and walked 3. So a beautiful effort tonight from Grayson Hitt, who should be in line for the win in a 7-inning game. We'll have to see how that is. But Josh Gross takes over on the mound, the right-hander out of East Carolina. Gross making his Big Train debut.
Decent length to him, 6'4", 197. Virginia Beach native.
His first pitch is a check swing there by Matt Stone, who comes up after singling his last time up, but singling is a bit of a understatement.
No record this
inside.
past year at East Carolina. 7.5 ERA and 12 innings of work. 9 strikeouts, 7 walks allowed. Washington Nationals fan.
So he hits one high in the air into the infield, and settling under it onto the outfield grass is Gauthier at short. He'll make the catch for the first out, and Gross has an ERA. Big F6 there to lead off. So if you're just joining us, the Big Train lead this one 5-0 after winning 13-1 in their Mercy Rule doubleheader. They are now 10-2, I believe, or 9-2, excuse me. And the Big Train are now leading this one
a little early there.
5-0. 3 hits, 1 error. One hit allowed by Grayson Hitt. On the other side, there's a big swing and a miss there by Chandler Riley, the leadoff hitter. And tomorrow night, we'll be back in action here as the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts come to town. Ben Bobeck will be on the play-by-play call for that game. And, of course, the end of the homestand is on Monday as they take on the South County Braves at home. I will be on for that game, and then we head to D.C. on Wednesday.
Yes. Fun stretch of games here.
Excited to go back to D.C. and go to Ben's Chili Bowl, which Ben has been talking about.
Is that Wednesday?
That is Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, I could probably make that work.
Maybe make another trip to the hallowed grounds as fouled back into the screen, and it's quickly 0-2, who Gross is just bringing it. I mean, fresh off of an appearance in the – I don't think he made any – I think he made 1 appearance or maybe 2 in the earlier rounds of the Super Regionals for ECU. That team lasted pretty long.
Yeah, it fell to the buzzsaw that is Vanderbilt baseball.
That ball is hit by pitch there.
Riley will take his base there. Ran a little bit too far inside.
Almost surprising is that their 2 starters who were thought to be de facto 1 and 2 in the draft, Rocker and Leiter, have now fallen out of the top 10 or near that. As players have started to burnish their credentials a little bit. Still just the 1 hit for the Aces as they trail 5-0. Anthony Migliaccio, the DH, takes one low, ball 1. Donning number 21 out there in the gray on gray. Gray jerseys with the blue trim.
ECU beat out Maryland in that Greenville Regional. Hosting the Greenville Regional was ECU as this one gets by Nip. Advanced, like you said, to the Vanderbilt Super Regional, the Nashville Super Regional, I guess. Gross did not appear in that regional. Last appearance for the, I guess they're just the Pirates, yeah, not the Buccaneers. No innings in a win against Cincinnati on the 26th of May. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 walk allowed.
So he gets a swing and a miss there from from Anthony Migliaccio. Garrett Farquhar is the on-deck batter.
Just an 11-pitch outing for him there.
Swing and a miss there from Migliaccio, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts and gunning for that again here. Still just, once again, 1 hit for Alexandria. The 7-inning shortened game, so has a chance to shorten up the bullpen a little bit as well.
I guess
dancing off second base.
Technically,
it's outside ball 2, or ball 3.
We didn't get to stretch in the last game.
It's a 5th-inning stretch.
I was just going to say. 2 outs away from stretch time at Povich Field. Hypothetically.
That is true. Migliaccio takes another one for ball 4, and he's aboard. So back-to-back walks, or I mean free passes, I guess, free 90s for the Big Train's reliever Josh Gross in for his first game here. As Garrett Farquhar is the batter.
Yeah, we'll see how Gross is able to work his way out of this one, perhaps. I think we talked about it earlier this season as, the roster and the different players for the Big Train were getting settled. It's always good for Sal and the rest of this coaching staff to kind of get to see how players respond in situations like this.
That's poke torch second. Going to be the flip to Gauthier for one. Back to first. Double play, and the inning is over.
That's exactly how you respond.
Indoctrinated with a double play is Josh Gross as the inning is retired, and he'll give a big thank you to his infield battery as Gauthier and good old brand new second baseman Christian Martin combined for that one. It's the Big Train. Get out of it, and it's 5-0 here. Leroy Jenkins stands up to the plate as Nolan Shanuel stands in. Got a big laugh from our producer. Leroy! Here's the first pitch from Chris Brown, outside ball one. Chris Brown was popular when Leroy Jenkins was also popular.
Yeah, sure.
Do I dare say it? I don't want to give the audience at home a reason to shut off the game as Chris Brown makes it 0-1 and is bounced towards second. Easy enough for Martin. That's not Martin anymore. Fired to first by Farquhar. And there's the first out as Shanuel down quickly. That'll bring up Vince Velasquez as Kyle Velasquez stands to the plate.
Vince Velasquez,
Houston Astros legend.
not a popular guy in this town after running a fastball into Austin.
Hey, but Voth made it back today. He pitched in the first half of the doubleheader.
Okay.
Broke his face, and then he got back in there and shoved. I think he pitched a scoreless inning in the 5-1 loss. The Nationals in that first half doubleheader. Mets dropped the second half 6-2. And that's inside, and guess what? Kyle Velasquez is aboard with hit by pitch. I thought that was Rocco Pepe for a second, and then I remembered he wasn't in the lineup. I saw the grimace on his face, and I was like, oh, that's Rocco again.
Velasquez is up there in pitches worn. Not anywhere near the 8 worn by Rocco, but now that's 6 on the year for Velasquez. Shanuel right behind him with 4. Foster, Torres, and Gump all have 2. Alderman, Johnson, Doyle, and Cone each with 1.
Just want to, as Doyle takes this pitch outside, I just want to give a quick shout out to my father, Al Gallo, and my father's father, Al Gallo, as they are watching, tuning in from Fawn Lake. Wish I could be there with you guys this weekend. Happy Father's Day to you both. Gonna miss not being able to fish this weekend up at the lake, but hope you guys are enjoying this broadcast. 1-0 here. Doyle takes one in there. Good breaking ball from Chris Brown, and it's 1-1. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in tonight. 1-1 here. Runner goes. Throw down from the catcher. Stone is on the money, and he is safe. That was a close play at second base. Is getting in there as Kyle Velasquez, who can run pretty well. And he's aboard and running maybe on the bit of a softer arm there.
That was a roped throw from Stone down to Tellier covering from shortstop. And an excellent slide by Velasquez to just slide right under it and get into second safely. Runner in scoring position here with one out for Doyle.
Yeah, 2-1 to Trevor Doyle, who has reached a few times, a walk and a single. Beautiful execute hit and run, and that's through the vacated hole into left field for a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to score is Velasquez, and Doyle will take the big turn. The throw is on the money, and he's safe as it's bobbled. The throw down to second base is not in time, and Doyle reaches second base on the throw. Runner comes in to score. Big Train extend their lead to 6.
Yeah, great slide in from Velasquez. I thought the throw probably had him beat there. Excellent job by Riley out in left field, getting that in time to have a potential play at the plate. But Stone just couldn't hang on as he applied the tag to the hot sliding Velasquez like butter over the plate for run number 6.
I have just been informed that my family is not, in fact, in the Poconos, and they are all watching in Hocassin, Delaware, so
Close enough.
that's about 3 hours away, Ben.
Happy Father's
2-1
Day.
to Doyle, 2-2.
A happy Father's Day to them as well.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to all of those watching at home.
We seem to have some missing information on the scoreboard. Not quite sure what's going on out there.
Well, they didn't reset the count on the new
Yeah,
batter.
it's 6-0.
New scoreboard operator.
Yeah, new
Not
scoreboard
Dylan
operator.
Spilko.
Christian Martin can never replace Dylan Spilko as that's chopped foul. Runner goes as that was a swing and miss, and it goes into left field, and that's going to score another run for the Big Train. They lead it 7-0. How about that? And karma there for the bat flip. Matt Stone throws that about 30 feet wide of the third baseman Kelly, and another run comes in. It's 7-0.
Yeah, an earned run, scoring on the throwing error by the catcher. And Big Train, the chance to continue to extend their standings lead here in style.
Yeah, get at least a game here if they win. They already got one earlier. Get another game. That's in big error,
Currently-
5th of the game.
Currently sit
Again,
at
gets away. So
2.5 games ahead of Alexandria.
yeah, good take
Would
there
get it
by
up to a full 3.5, I believe.
Christian Martin. As that is actually chopped foul, so it's 2-1.
I think it's 1-2.
I don't know what it is. The scoreboard has it messed up, and they finally fixed it. As that's outside and ball 2, so 2-2 now.
Or 1-2 now, I think it is.
Things are getting crazy here.
Who knows?
1-2 to Martin from Brown. It's inside.
Good take there.
Does a mini Soto shuffle there
Yeah.
at home plate.
Let's-
That thing is so creepy in the show because I don't even want to get into it. Because it happens and his mouth goes like a complete circle. It's so weird. I think they misprogrammed that. 2-2 to Martin. It's outside ball 3. Good eye at the plate for Martin there. He's waiting on those pitches for sure. Absolutely hoping to see that out of your brand new debutant, to use your word. So here's his full count offering to
word.
Martin. As he chops one high in the air, and now to play. Missed some Hall & Oates earlier. You Make My Dreams by Daryl Hall and John Oates. 3-2. Ball. Oh, no. Strike 3 called on Christian Martin, so he is down looking. Very close to being an inside pitch, and that'll turn the order over for Riley Johnson, who's got a pair of walks and a sacrifice bunt. And nearly beat that out.
Yeah, maybe a half a step there. Beautiful lunge to try to get that foot down on the bag.
And sometimes that can be a little dangerous if you're lunging out. I've seen a couple of Mets players go
Yeah.
down trying to beat out
Harper did that a few years ago where he slipped
Yeah,
off
that was
first
painful to
base
watch.
and did something to his knee. I forget what.
I think he might have hyperextended.
Hyperextended, something like that, yeah.
But he, the way he stepped on it, the bag was slippery because of the rain, and he lunged, and his leg was like bent inwards, and it wasn't fun to look at. It quickly 0-1 to Johnson. It's inside. He's got a couple of singles to his ledger here in the doubleheader. 3 last game, I believe.
Is Bunt taking a nap out there on the dugout?
Well,
Looks all curled up and cozy.
he could get thrown out like Yuppie was way back in the 90s for the Expos. So that's outside, ball 2. So if you remember, Yuppie is actually the mascot for both the Expos and the Montreal Canadiens. Rest in peace to the Expos.
They're not dead.
So that's a strike. It's 2-2. How are they not dead? They've been relocated.
Yeah, but it's the same franchise.
That is true,
Just a
but
different
rest in
name.
peace to the Expos name.
Sure.
They'll be back when the Rays inevitably need to move to Montreal and the Oakland A's need to
Who
find
comes back first, the Quebec Nordiques or the Montreal Expos?
You know, the Nordiques have a huge following. That's a ball, and it's 3-2. I went to a Devils game a number of years ago against I believe it was either the Bruins or Montreal, and an entire section of fans, Nordique Nation they called themselves, and they were all dressed in Nordiques garb.
Well, it was
Started
kind of
chanting.
funny when the Avalanche were playing the Canadiens in the NHL playoffs before Montreal disposed of them handily.
What a story Montreal's been.
Yeah. There was that fleeting thought. Of course, it wasn't going to happen because of the NHL's sweater rules for the playoffs. But, you know, if Colorado had decided to break out the reverse retros, we could have gotten the Nordiques versus the Canadiens again. Well, hockey talk.
Yeah, love hockey. Love a good hockey segment. The Devils' reverse retro jerseys are phenomenal.
The Caps are as well.
Yeah, I always love the Screaming Eagles. That Ben's in there for ball 4, so
I thought that was going to be strike 3.
Riley Johnson is aboard for the 3rd time. His 3rd walk, getting that OBP up. He says, "You down with OBP? Yeah, you know me."
Not a Chris Brown song.
Not a Chris Brown song. I forget who that's by. Let's see. So that's taken for a ball, and it's 1-0. That is by Naughty by Nature. You down with OBP is something I just made up on the spot that I've seen
Pretty
before.
Give you credit where credit is due.
That's 100% not something I've seen before, Ben.
Yeah.
Just copy that from Major League Baseball. So time is called.
I got it. Don't worry.
I 100% didn't, Ben. Whatever you think, I did not do that.
So how about this for Austin Gauthier? Current numbers at the moment, 333 average, 333 on base percentage,
Sure about that?
333 slugging.
I don't know if that's updated. Because I think he was 225. That's what it says right there.
I'm talking about for the game.
Oh, for the game, yeah. Well,
That's-
when you're
that's what
one
happens
for...
when you're 1 for 3 with a single.
Absolutely. Plane flies overhead Povich Field. Runner goes up high. Throw down is not in time. So
Couple good ropes down from Stone, but just not in time to get these runners. Johnston with plenty of speed there.
yeah, testing that arm.
Second stolen bag of the night.
So we sit in the 5th inning. Here's Big Train lead at 7-0. They've outscored the other squad 20-1 in these 2 games, and we're not even done yet.
Good math.
I forgot the Alexandria Aces for a second there.
It's okay. At least we haven't called them Arlington yet. I've been doing that in the last few days leading up to this one.
Arlington, Virginia is in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. Pours that one right down the pipe. Here's the 3-1. And there's strike 2. So battling back here is Chris Brown.
Fantastic paint on the outside edge there.
See if Gross is out there for another inning. He pitched pretty solidly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Pitch count probably a little bit different for him. But we saw that with Ryan Lynch in that DC game. Had a really effective first game out of the bullpen, but only got the 1 inning.
It's right down the middle, strike 3 call. Then Gauthier is retired. The Big Train chase across 2 more as they lead at 7-0 here. Only 1 hit for the Alexandria Aces. Josh Gross back to the mound when we come back here on Big. Brady Gump takes over in right field for the Big Train as Adam Tellier stands in at the dish. Josh Gross out for his 2nd inning of work. First pitch, strike, right down the middle, 0-1. Josh Gross, like we said, out of ECU, had their dreams cut short by the giant of Vanderbilt as that's bounced right past the mound, or right near the mound. It's going to be a tough play, and that's basically a bunt hit there. A swinging bunt allows Tellier to reach, and that's just the 2nd hit of the game for Alexandria.
Yeah, really tough play for the left side of that infield. Velazquez charging hard from third. Nip out from behind the dish, and, of course, Gross out from the mound. It's kind of no man's land out there, and Tellier able to get a leadoff base runner for Alexandria. Not something they've had too often tonight.
Yeah, 2 hits, all singles today. And 5, count them, 5 errors. Here's the first pitch to Chandler Kelly's. That's ball 1. Part of the plethora of Chandlers on this ball club.
Not as, I mean, who has more? Alexandria with Chandlers or Gaithersburg with Tylers?
Gaithersburg with Tylers, because there's only 2 Chandlers on this ball club, which is 1 too many. So runner goes, Nip shows out the cannon, but the cannon is unfortunately a bit weak today as the runner takes second.
I'd argue that's too many Chandlers.
Yeah, I agree. Way too many.
And 1 too many Trenners as well.
Yeah. Trenner O'Donnell pitched the first game, if you missed it. They also got Quinlan Montgomery, Miller Freeman, and Paul Glencher.
Miller Freeman sounds like an economist or something.
You're thinking of Morgan Freeman, Ben.
No, that's the actor.
Shawshank Redemption. My very poorly put together Morgan Freeman impression, as I could never replicate that voice. Golden pipes there, as that's strike there, and it's 3-1. Gross finally gets one across.
You're no Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, I agree. Three and 1 here to Gross. Or here to, it's fouled back. Oh my goodness.
From Gross.
From Gross. And those swings, those one-handed swings are always painful to watch. I harken back to 2017. Michael Conforto swung and missed very hard at a pitch and dislocated his shoulder and was out for the remainder of the season. Which is a tough loss because that was his first and only All-Star appearance at that point.
I saw Conforto in Binghamton in Double-A. It's my one Mets association, I guess, for tonight.
Love Michael Conforto. I saw him hit 2 home runs in a World Series game. It's fouled back 3-2. Live.
That's cool.
And then saw Daniel Murphy turn into a pumpkin.
Nationals legend. Silver Slugger.
As by the end of October, Daniel Murphy was back to his former horrible self. On defense. There goes the runner. Nip. The throw down is not in time and gets away. And coming home to score without a throw is Adam Tellier. And there's the first run of the day. Or second run of the day, including the other doubleheader for Alexandria. That's going to go as an unearned run on, or that'll probably go as an earned run on Gross, even though it's an unearned earned run, unfortunately.
Yeah, tough play. Nip trying to get the runner, second shot at him. Good throw, a little hard off the glove of Velazquez.
Grounded down the first base side or third base side and foul by Mark Catula. Kelly with a long at bat, drawing that walk.
And ending up on second as well.
0-1 here to Catula, outside. Ball 1. Josh Gross just looking to get 2 innings under his belt, and then we'll have to see who's out of the pen next. Here's the pitch. Looking long in there, runner second. Checked his swing. Did he go around? He did not, and that's ball 2. Or excuse me, that was a strike, so he did go around, and it's 1-2. 1-2 now to Mark Catula out of Eastern Michigan. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 2. As Ben returns from the pizza box with his 38,000th slice. 2-2.
You're doing yeoman's work.
Here's the pitch. Low, ball 3. Count runs full here. Full count offering from Josh Gross to Mark Catula. Gross in his first appearance as a big train. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. And there's one down. Gets a big strikeout.
Beautiful location there on the outside edge. Trying to get him to chase. Doesn't get the chase. You know what he gets? That's even better. The punch out.
Jesse Barron's favorite moment.
From Paul Porto.
I don't think Paul Porto needed a movie trailer announcers or narrators twang on that.
But he got it anyways, because that's what you get here on Big
Runner
Train
dancing
TV.
off seconds. That's outside.
Great block by Grant Nip.
And we got to stop making Aaron go out in the middle of innings, because that door is insufferable. One run, 2 hits, 5 errors. 541 announced tennis today. That's right down the pipe for a strike.
Between the 2 games.
Big crowd on hand, our biggest of the year. Maybe we'll see a full capacity, a full crowd for the Israel games. We'll have to see later on in the year.
It's going to be interesting to see which is bigger by the end of the season. Big Train's division lead or their lead in attendance.
Absolutely, that's high. I mean, the lead in attendance is going to be insurmountable you got to think. Because there's not 750 seats at every ballpark. I feel that DC has the biggest capacity, or Blair has the biggest capacity out of all the stadiums we've been to. No other stadiums keep attendance. It's in the dirt and fumbled a bit by Nip, but the runner's not going anywhere. And a low throw back to the mound. 7-1 the score here at Povich Field, named after the legendary columnist Shirley Povich. Father of Maury Povich from the show Maury. Runner goes to third, hit high and foul out of play, and unfortunately for Mr. Kelly, he's going to have to go back to second. Blake McRae making this a 3-2 count. Josh Gross has had a laborious inning here, a laborious sixth, as we settle into the late innings of this game. We'll have to see if he goes 3 or if somebody else is on for the 7th. 7-inning doubleheader game, which I think should be abolished from Major League Baseball. But that's a story for another day. Hit again out of play.
I think going back to our discussion about substances on baseballs, it's going to be very interesting to see which of the rules that have been in play over the last two seasons now stick around when the collective bargaining agreement comes
I think
up for
the runner on second and extra innings absolutely needs to go. I
agree. I think both of the ones we've now mentioned should go.
So there's a feeble swing and a miss there for strike 3 by Blake McRae. And there's quickly 2 down as battling back here with his consecutive strikeouts is Josh Gross. But back to that point, I mean, I think it's fine if you go 3 innings. If nobody scores in those first 3 innings, then you bring in the extra runner. If you go 3 innings after the 9th. So if you get to the 12th and nobody scores.
I would compare it in a way to the college 2-point conversion rule.
Right.
Where I think it's after the 3rd overtime you have to go for 2. And then after the 5th overtime, it's just 2-point conversions.
It's outside.
And so I think if you can kind of get that same sort of vibe with the runner on second, where, you know, after the – like, I get the idea, especially in these days where you're trying to limit innings with, you know, all the different protocols and all the rescheduling issues that came up last year.
There's a strike there from
the beginning of this year as well.
Gross. Yeah, it's just they're garbage rules in my opinion. Like the extra runner on second base is just some unneeded. It's just unneeded. If you're gonna have that, then may as well bring in robot umpires, which I can't wait for that to happen because they just seem to get worse by the day. As that's blooped into left field and foul, 1 and 2. That's inevitable.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure that it is inevitable at this point. Just the human error aspect of balls and strikes in particular is so apparent to even the most casual of baseball viewers.
Right.
But I think there is something to be said for a presence of a human umpire.
So there's a big swing and a miss. Strike 3 got him, and Josh Gross
strikes out the side.
Yeah, no, that's not a strike out the side, Ben, as he gets 2 batters on to lead off the inning and then strikes out the next 3 with a flourish. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Here's the big train. 1 run comes across for the Aces, but they lead 7-1 here. Heading to Quinlan Montgomery is the new pitcher.
You are correct about that.
Darius Foster is the batter.
I see nothing but facts.
I report the facts here, Ben. Foster, they're shifting a little bit on him. Not as exaggerated as you would think, but he's known to go to the other way a few times.
No fake news here.
Fake news, CNN.
Montgomery, 1 inning pitched. Pretty empty line score from that appearance.
Foster takes one
2
outside.
strikeouts, though.
Or ball 2.
Looking to bring the stuff here against what could be the potential last licks for the big train offensively today. After putting up a combined 20 runs between the 2 games of this doubleheader.
It's the 2-0. Foster hits one foul and out of play. Things getting a little bit more quiet here at Povich Field, and while it's hot up in the booth, it's cooling down a bit outside. Pitch black up in the sky, no clouds like we saw earlier. And Ben, I don't think there's going to be any more rain today. And if there is, they're going to call the game and make it an official game. It's a win-win situation. It's Foster with a 2-1 count here from Quinlan Montgomery. He takes a strike, a generous strike call there, and it's 2-2. Josh Gross, of course, pitched 2 innings of 1-run ball, the only run allowed today. We'll see if somebody else is up as Foster goes down again, his 3rd strikeout of the game. And unfortunately for Foster, he's had a bunch of strikeouts in a little bit amount of time.
This will be Brady Gump batting here for Matt Thomas. We saw him as a defensive substitution in the last half inning, getting his first at-bat of this game. First at-bat of the day.
Great at-bat
really.
song, by the way.
Yep.
So many things that I want to say. All right, I'll stop singing now. There's one out. And Gump, the new batter. First time we've seen Sal go to his bench in a few games.
Yeah. Likes to find his 9 and stick with it. No harm in that.
Absolutely. And a nasty breaking ball there from Quinlan Montgomery, and there's 2 strikes.
Montgomery out of
Or 1 strike, excuse me.
Stony Brook.
Here's the 1-1. It's inside, ball 2. Once again, today we appreciate Zach Locke coming up and joining us and giving us an inside look into what goes on down there in the bullpen and, of course, what mindset he takes getting into the games and a little backstory on him as well.
Yeah.
Won't be the last time we talk to anybody here.
It was good to, we got a chance on the first day the players showed up to catch up with those who got here, when they could. But, always great to touch base with them, check in, and learn a little bit more about the guys we see out there.
Because they're also human.
Every
They're
day.
not superheroes. We just call them like they are.
Of course, you can find shortly after the game a condensed version of our chat with Zach.
It's outside ball 4, and Gump is aboard with 1 down.
Plus replays of this game, highlights, our chat with Jesse Barron from a week or so ago on our YouTube page at Big Train TV, where you're watching this right now.
And maybe we'll have more freedom to get you some crazier content as the season goes along.
Yeah, just trying to settle in, but we have a few ideas bouncing around. Some Spider Tack related, some not.
I'd love to try that out at some point before the season's over.
I've seen a couple of the kind of baseball internet personalities. Yeah, I think John Boy was playing around with it a little bit. The Cespedes Barbecue guys had some express shipped I'm just worried about what that would be like to get off of your hand.
Oh, yeah.
That's what concerns me
So
the
it gets
most.
away, and that'll get Gump down to second base. Nip is the batter. He's had a undesirable line, 0 for 3 with a trio of strikeouts. And one away from, I believe it's the Platinum Sombrero, correct? Seen a few of those this season. Sombrero nonetheless. So he's going to be partying with the mariachi bands, unless he can put it into play here or get a board. I'd love to see that from Grant, who's been on the downturn recently, but, you know, every player goes through it. And the team keeps winning. It's up high, ball 3, so quickly Nip is in a hitter's count. We'll see if he has the green light 3-0 up 6. Three and 0 here. A hat trick of balls.
I don't think anybody's throwing their hat.
That's hit
to
high
celebrate that.
into right field, so no strikeout there. Coming under it is the right fielder Helgeson, and he will make the play, feigning like he was going to tag at second base as Gump's throw comes in. So F9 there for Grant Nip, and there's 2 down for Nolan Shanuel.
Very, very tall hit ball there. All the way up in the lights. As Shanuel potentially representing the final Big Train batter to come to the plate here. Walked, was caught stealing in the third. Had an RBI in the first game.
And it's been one heck of a day for the Big Train offense. 20 runs scored to just 2 allowed. Far and away the league leaders in runs scored. I think that's a given. Shanuel is batting just 176 on the year with no homers, but get this, 9 RBI. So he's perfectly placing his hits. And without any scoring position here, let's see what happens. Inside, ball 1. For the aces due up, Stone, Riley, and Migliaccio, a 1 for, I guess that's 7 or 8 line today between those batters combined. Stone, of course, sent one to the moon and then down from the moon onto the top of the wall and into play. And made it to first base. And turned to the dugout and flipped his bat like he hit a 440-foot home run. Like I'm all for bat flips, but that's not the right time to do this. That's outside 3-0. I mean, we mentioned it earlier. There's a time and place. You know, I love seeing it when like it's a clutch home run, go ahead one, but when it's not even out, it's not a good time. 3-0 here to Nolan Shanuel. It's inside, and there's a strike. So 3-1. Tomorrow night's broadcast will begin as it always does. The Big Train take on the Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts for the first time since the exhibition game here at Povich Field. Ben Bobek will be on the call. Of course, I'll be there providing the greatest color commentary of all time. It's chop foul and out of play. Have some big games coming up for the Big Train as they look to lengthen their league lead. They go to Alexandria for the first time in a couple weeks. Or actually in a few days.
Next Friday.
Full count offering. Shanuel strokes one into right field. Coming on as the right fielder Helgeson. He can't make the play. That's going to score a run. And another well-placed RBI hit for Nolan Shanuel. He's got his 10th. He's up to double digits. And he's aboard with a single.
Yeah, joins the parade of Big Train batters that have reached the double digits and stakes consumed. With a beautifully laced shot pulled into shallow right field.
And at this rate, they're going to run out of stakes as the Big Train lead at 8-1.
Red meat shortage. The Bethesda area, you know who to blame. The Big Train offense that just keeps chugging along.
And Kyle Velasquez is no stranger to that either. Driven in
Certainly not.
his fair share of runs. Not as much as Matt Thomas, though. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss up high. Strike 1.
Thomas with 15, Alderman 12, Pepe 11, Jack Cohn with 9, formerly on level terms with Sean Uell, who has the lead now.
Strike there
Between
as he
those
got
two
out of
with
the way
10.
of that curve. Standing on deck is Trevor Doyle. He would be next if Velasquez can get aboard.
He's got 4 of his own. And Brady Gump, who just scored.
Riley Johnson still
And-
looking for his first one. Everybody's checked in today this season thus far with an RBI, except for
Austin Gauthier on level terms with Mr. Velasquez at the plate right now. with
Riley
8.
and Martin also hasn't checked in yet. It's only it's only a matter of time as these guys start to get more action. 1-2 now to Velasquez. Here's the pitch. Taken for a ball, and it's 2-2. See if somebody new is up on the mound or if this is Grosh's game and he would be in line for the save. I believe. If he comes in and pitches 3. So after going a few weeks without a save, there's a chance for 2 in one day. Mets, of course, the only one with 1 before today's. That's bounced towards third. Going to be a tough play, and it gets by the third baseman, Kelly, and into left field, and it can roll for days. Heading to third, there is Nolan Sean Uell, and on second, with a double that went past the glove of Kelly, is Kyle Velasquez.
Kyle Velasquez, call him Kyle Two Bags.
Or that's going to be an error on third baseman Kelly, which, I don't know, kind of undeserved there.
Would have been his 7th double of the year. Accumulating 50% of his base hits as 2-baggers.
So here's Trevor Doyle with Christian Martin on deck.
But as you said, apparently ruled an error.
Generous error, the 6th error of the game nonetheless. Some fat numbers on that scoreboard on that side. Doyle was geared up to send that one back to wherever he goes to school, which is escaping my mind right now.
Sacramento State.
Yeah, send that back to Sacramento, but came up empty.
Would have been quite a ride for that baseball.
Well, I mean,
Would have picked up plenty of miles on that trip.
sure Stanton sent a few there. Aaron Judge.
Alderman sent one.
Kemp Alderman, not Kent. So it's outside. It's still flying. It's logging up its fair share of frequent flyer miles. Crushed in every sense of the word. Trevor Doyle batting a clean 277 on the years. There's ball 2. The Dons out there in Sac State. Or excuse me, that's not Sac State. That's San Francisco. We have a few San Francisco guys on the staff as well. 2-1. Taking for a strike, and it's 2-2.
The Hornets. Of
Yes, Sac
Sacramento
State
State
Hornets.
College.
Cameron Wilbon transferred from Robert Morris to Sac State a few days ago. Doyle lifts one into left field, but that's going to go near the Big Train bullpen and off the screen and back into play. I wonder where that ball will end up as left fielder Chandler Riley fields it and throws it in. New ball for the pitcher, though. Spiked into the dugout by the shortstop, Tellier. So Doyle will do it again here on 2-2. And he gets that one deep to center field. Going back is the center fielder, McRae, and he'll set it all under it for a nice catch, but a ride nonetheless for Trevor Doyle as he's retired on the F8. Big Train done here in this game, barring a huge comeback for Alexandria. Head to the top of the 7th here on Big Train TV.
Out of the pen here in the top of the 7th, none other than the mighty righty, standing 6'3" and 250 pounds, wearing number 33 out of Ole Miss. It's Kemp Alderman, and here's Tyler Gallo for all the action.
Thanks. Thank you. I don't know how to really respond to that, but yes, it has happened. Kemp Alderman makes his pitching debut for the big train right here and looking to get some work in. Fires the ball for the first strike, or first ball. Wait, that's not true. 2-0. Aaron, I don't want to hear it.
He's got a beautiful flourish with that glove. Comes out of the stretch.
And I was wondering why he wasn't
a little bit.
used in the second game.
Starts with the hands set high. Little punch of that
It's a strike
left
there.
gloved hand.
Got a
and delivers
raucous
through.
cacophony of applause from the press box.
Yes. Already has endeared himself to the big train staff and the fans as well.
Well, when you hit a ball several thousand miles like he did in Lorton,
Amped
and
for
or
that pitch. And
and or
nailed it a little high.
BP legend, much like he is, you're bound to get some praise here and there. I mean, he sends absolute seeds in batting practice, and there are no doubters. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike two.
Man, the pop on that mitt.
Sweet music there from Kemp Alderman. Love to see if there was ever a gun on this one. We know Coach Sal doesn't like the gun.
Yeah, and I think that's an understandable
Well, we figured
coaching
out why.
viewpoint. We'll explain why.
Yeah. So there's ball four.
That's tough. That's a tough call.
Ball four there to the hot dog and Matt Stone. But so the reason that Coach Sal does not like the radar gun, as we had Sean Culkin next to us gunning players, mostly for the T-balls,
Mostly
but
for Silver Spring.
went over to Eddington. He said that he thinks it makes guys pitch to the gun and then try to pitch harder than they really throw, and then they run into some problems and don't pitch well.
Yeah,
So that's
injury issues, performance issues.
So Alderman
kind of thinking
pops that
about
one in there for a strike at 237 miles an hour.
Give or take.
Give or take a couple of MPH. 0-1 as fans start to file around the ballpark here. We've seen a thinning of the crowd a little bit of the announced 542. So there's a strike in there. Great pitch. Oh, no, that was a ball. I thought that was a good pitch from Alderman. Instead, it's 1-1.
Nice off speed from Alderman. Pants dirty. Not ripped, though.
Dealing with Chandler Riley. It's outside ball two. Riley today has struck out, flew out, and been hit by a pitch. Alderman brings it there, 2-2.
Got a couple very late swings on that cheese. Would love one more right here. Maybe a ground out.
Absolutely, love a
Chance
ground
for
ball. Here's the 2-2 from Alderman. Looking for the K. Outside ball three.
Yeah, threw that pitch for the second ball as well. A little bit of almost a slider maybe from the righty. Kind of breaking out off speed back outside of the batter.
Sets and delivers. That's roped into left field. Going to be a long run for the left fielder, Doyle, and he's not going to get there. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Heading for third is Stone, and standing in at second with a double is Chandler Riley, and things are starting to get a bit testy here for Kemp Alderman on the mound.
Yeah, that looked like some of the balls Kemp himself has been hitting, whether in batting practice or in some of the games. A lot of heat behind that one. So we'll get a pinch hitter here for
Yeah, it's going to be number 28.
Ben Kenny.
Kumi?
Kumi. Pitched a little too far inside on the big lefty. A lot of size between this righty versus lefty matchup.
I believe that's Ben Kumi.
It's his jersey number.
It's inside ball 1. It's inside ball 2. Alderman delivers. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
I was trying to find that inside location on the last two. Able to come back out a little safer over the plate.
Two-way threat. Kemp Alderman. We'll see what he does here. That bends in
Now
there
gets
first
that
strike.
inside spot. Beautiful location there.
2-2. Alderman looking to just close this one out after Josh Grosh pitched 2 innings and 4 beautiful innings from the starter today. Grayson hit, who has allowed just 2 hits total on the season. Alderman delivers and gets K for Kemp right there. Swinging strike 3, and there's 1 out. Left you speechless.
I have nothing to add to that perfection.
So Alderman gets 1 quick out here as Garrett Farquhar is up. He hits 1 foul. Farquhar, we will keep mentioning this until he hits another home run here.
Yeah, he's definitely got the ability to turn on one.
And has probably maybe the longest home run hit at Povich Field this season. It's unfortunate that Jack Braley had to be the inheritor of that. It's inside. Some heat there from Alderman, and it's 1-1.
Nice move by Mr. Farquhar.
One and one to Garrett Farquhar. Fouled back, and it's 1-2. Alderman just bringing it here. Zip. Zip. Can he make his name Kemp? 1-2. And that's loose up the middle, and that's not going to be a strikeout, and that's going to get a run in and maybe 2. Stopping at third, though, is Chandler Riley, and coming in to score is Matt Stone. RBI single for Garrett Farquhar, and the lead is now 8-2.
One positive of that is you put the double play back in possible order.
And Adam Tellier, the batter, who's walked, struck out, and gotten a hit. Not the 3 true outcomes quite, but
Gotten a single, a couple stolen bags, allowed him to come around and score back in the 6th inning. Was previously the only runner allowed.
half swung into center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. And coming in to score is Chandler Riley, and a dunker of a single for Adam Tellier, his second of the day, drives in a run.
Yeah, that was just kind of unfortunate. Tellier coming up hacking, ready to attack, is Sean Ewell with a quick word, as we'll get a mound visit from the pitching coach as well.
Have yet to this was, I believe, the lone pitching debut we haven't seen besides Kyle Robinson this year. We saw Guffey make his last night, Gross in this game. Still waiting on the debut of Dylan Hatfield, though. And obviously Everett Catlett hasn't made his yet either. Should be back soon. Not sure when, but should be back.
Yeah, it's always interesting seeing, opposing teams' reactions when they see, Kemp listed as a pitcher. And then he's coming up and, playing third, playing first, DHing, whatever he's got that day. And with as much power, certainly not the guy you'd expect to be listed as a pitcher. He's definitely played more in the field to start off this season. Looking to settle in on the mound here with 2 on and 1 out.
And we've seen a few guys on the staff that can go both ways here. With just 1 out, Kemp, Alderman just trying to get out of this inning. How about that line on the scoreboard? 3 runs, 5 hits, 6 errors. So there's a strike in there, and it's 0-1. It's been a sloppy day in the field for the Alexandria Aces. 8-3 Big Train lead. Both teams have 5 hits in this game, if you can believe that. So it's bounced towards third. Not going to get 2, or gets 1, and that's all they'll get. So it's hit too slow to get the runner at first base. Fielder's choice there, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, smart play by Martin covering second there. Veteran move almost for the young second baseman. Velazquez got to that one as quick as he could, able to get it over to get Tellier at second, but no chance really. Kelly probably would have beaten any throw by at least a step.
Yeah, 5-4 fielder's choice on that. It's inside and it gets away, and another run's going to come in to score. So 8-4 now.
Kemp just trying to work himself into a save situation, perhaps.
Yeah, but then won't get the save, and we'll see if that gets anybody up in the pen. Metz and Barron both available tonight. Haven't pitched in a few days. Metz hasn't pitched in almost a week. Definitely see one of those guys soon. So 1-0 from Alderman. Delivers a heat-seeking missile into the mitt, and it's 1-1.
That thing would be called soda along the East Coast because that was pop.
Yeah, never got the pop references in Pittsburgh, as there's a swing and a miss. And the Aces are down to their final strike, and one stop away from victory station once again are the Bethesda Big Train. Kemp Alderman trying to get out of it. Claps start to begin in the stands. Here is the 1-2 offering to the hitter, Mark Cutula. Long set for the sign, and they'll call time. One and two once again. Claps getting louder and louder. He gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. He went around, and the Big Train have won it. They move to 10-2. They get to their 10th win of the season, and they have arrived at victory station. They take both halves of the doubleheader here in 7 innings. 8-4 the final score. Kemp Alderman bends but does not break in the 7th, and the Big Train keep on rolling.
And they grab their bats and say, all aboard, as they chug along to 2 really big wins. They avenged that first loss of the season 1 week ago tonight, and they do so in spectacular fashion. Like you said, a mercy rule in the first game. Get some great offense early, hang on, do some clutch pitching and a couple really big late addition runs, and a great first mound appearance for Kemp Alderman out there to seal the deal.
Yeah, I mean, a few runs came across on a couple of hits, but he's probably nervous for his first time pitching in a long time. But a good outing nonetheless, and we'll be back in action tomorrow night here at Povich Field as the Silver Spring Tacoma T-Bolts come to town. And Ben, what's your one takeaway from tonight's game?
You know, just that the bats got rolling a little bit. We saw a couple more debuts, really. Of course, Christian Martin out there at second. We saw a lot more of Riley Johnson. We're really starting to see this Big Train order. We saw them start to click, I think, over the last week, and now we're going to start to see the wheels really start to chug, really start to pick up momentum and get moving as they're going to start to really try to piece through these upcoming heart of the schedule, so to say.
Absolutely. Big Train, 8 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors, and the Alexandria Aces had 3 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. So it was a interesting day at the plate for both sides, but they'll be back in action tomorrow, and some post-game awards to give out on the Bethesda Big Train post-game show, Big Train TV. We'll see you there for that coming up right after this.
As we say good evening to you here from inside the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth, Ben Bobek and Tyler Gallo here on Big Train TV postgame. And Tyler, a big 8-4 win for the Big Train in the second game of this doubleheader tonight. A bigger win for them in the first game. They moved to 10-2 on the season, and like we said throughout the broadcast, extend their lead in first place here in the CRCBL. Your biggest takeaway from this game?
Well, I think it's just offense, offense, offense. That's really what it always has been for this team, and the pitching has picked up the bats, and the bats have picked up the pitching. That's really all that matters in these two games, and they sweep a doubleheader from the Aces, the team that beat them, the only other team to beat them this season, as we saw the Giants win last night, and they get a great taste of revenge by sweeping a twilight doubleheader.
As you see there, the final score presented by Bethesda Magazine, 8 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, 9 runners left on base for the victorious Big Train. 4 runs, 5 hits, 6 errors, and also 9 runners left on base for the Alexandria Aces, who drop to 5-4 on the season. The winning pitcher is Grayson Hitt. He moves to 2-0. The losing pitcher is Chris Knight. He moves to 0-2. First pitch at 7:01. Finish at 9:47, 2 hours and 46 minutes. Our game time attendance was 5:41, 81 degrees and overcast at first pitch here on June the 19th. Again, the second game of this doubleheader. And Tyler, your player of the game, performance of the game tonight for the Big Train, who's it got to be?
Well, Grayson Hitt had a great outing on the mound tonight, but I think the very, very quiet outing tonight just on offense, nobody really stood out to me. So I think a solid one on offense was Trevor Doyle. Hit a pair of hits and he had an RBI, but I think it's got to go to Grayson Hitt once again flourishing on the mound out there tonight.
Second time he's earned our player of the performance of the game awards. I'm actually going to give it to Doyle. We haven't heard much from him. We talked a little bit earlier about how he's been more of a defense-first guy, really successful with that glove in the corner outfield positions, but really doing it with the bat as well. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 2 singles, reached third on a walk back in the second inning as well. So a really great effort for him. One of the first times he's really shined offensively in this young season.
Absolutely, and when you get your 8-hole hitter shining at the plate, it's going to be a good day for you regardless. And Trevor Doyle really showed that today, getting a couple of singles, stroking them down the line, and perfectly executing a hit and run earlier in the game, which is what you want to see, especially if you get in the lineup more often, and he was here in the second game.
Absolutely. Tyler Gallo, anything else for you before we wrap things up here?
Stay tuned for tomorrow night. It's going to be a good game, and Silver Spring comes here for the first time, so that's going to be a fun one to call. They've been a worthy adversary for this team, so that's going to be a good game, and as all of them are, and we're excited to bring you that.
Yeah, 3-1 in the first game to South County. They fell, and 10-5 in the doubleheader. They'll be looking to get back on track as they come to Povich Field, like you said, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. here on Big Train TV. One more time, the final score presented by Bethesda Magazine. Big Train 8 and the Aces of Alexandria 4. For Ben Bobek, he's been Tyler Gallo. This has been Big Train TV's presentation of Big Train Baseball here in the CRCBL. One more time, Big Train 8, Alexandria 4. We'll see you next time on Big Train TV.